There were many people who signed up, and Lin Moyu got a number, 95270. It means that more than 90,000 people have signed up before him, and countless talisman masters are interested in the rewards of Ming Fu Academy. Although he knew that these people were rune evolutions, Lin Moyu did not dare to take it lightly when he thought of the rune level of Holy Talisman Heavenly Lord. After getting the number, he left Ming Fu Academy and wandered around Ming Fu City. It's a rare opportunity to appreciate the ancient city. If I don't take the opportunity to take a closer look, I would be really sorry for myself. From Ming Fu City, he deeply felt the prosperity and power of the human race in ancient times. There were countless cities like this in ancient times. Lin Moyu walked for a long time. Ming Fu City was so big that it was impossible to finish the walk. One day later, the entire Ming Fu City suddenly lit up, and a huge talisman array appeared in the sky. Ming Fu City is located between two high mountains. The talisman array shines and connects the two high mountains to form a large network. Among the clouds, a palace emerged. Countless people looked up to the sky and exclaimed in wonder. It's Ming Fu Academy. Ming Fu Academy has appeared, it's so magnificent. I wonder if the palace master will show up. I really want to meet the palace master. He is my idol. All kinds of voices are heard all the time. Lin Moyu is smiling. These voices are all the same. As long as you walk a certain distance and are separated by hundreds of people, you will find that they are all repeating the same words. Details, pay attention to details. Lin Moyu couldn't help but laugh. Sheng Fu Tianzuan indeed still needs 940 points of effort in terms of details. A majestic voice sounded in the air. The rune competition is about to begin. All applicants are now entering the rune array for the first assessment. Those who pass the assessment can enter the formal competition. The talisman array flashed above the head, and countless people in Ming Fu City rose into the air and flew towards the talisman array. Lin Moyu also rushed into the talisman formation together. He felt that he had entered an independent space, which had a similar feeling. Isn't this the assessment room of the Talisman Master Association? Lin Moyu burst out laughing. It turned out that the examination room of the Fu Master Association was built in imitation of ancient times. Ahead was a dim starry sky, and a majestic voice sounded in his ears. The assessment requirement is to draw the same runes based on the runes you see. The time limit is 10 minutes. If you draw 10 runes, you will pass. His eyes lit up, and hundreds of runes suddenly appeared. These runes are all high-level runes and do not look difficult. But Lin Moyu saw the problem at a glance. These runes are not what you want to see. The corresponding soul realm is required to see these runes. Lin Moyu felt that he must have at least the soul of the peak god to see the runes. If you don't have enough souls, you can't even see the runes, let alone draw the same runes. This level can block some people. Among the people who sign up, many people have souls that are not at the peak of the gods. Lin Moyu draws at will and at an extremely fast speed. Almost 100 runes every 2 seconds, and it only took a little over 3 minutes to draw them all. Then Lin Moyu's eyes flashed and he was passed away. He appeared in a square. Directly in front of the square was Ming Fu Academy. At this time, there were more than a dozen people standing in the square, all of whom had signed up for the competition like myself. It's very fast. Lin Moyu realized that these people were very fast, faster than himself. Their realms are both the Saint realm. Although they belong to the other side, their realm is higher than mine. Lin Moyu knew that these people were also runes evolved, and his fast speed was also due to the arrangement of the Holy Talisman Heavenly Lord. Lin Moyu doesn't have much idea about this. It's just a preliminary assessment. The competition has not officially started yet, so don't worry. These dozen or so saints looked solemnly, and all of them were silent and did not talk to each other. Soon, another person was teleported over, and a talisman master completed the assessment. 10 minutes later, no one came over, and the preliminary assessment ended. There were less than 10,000 people standing in the square, which was far behind the number of applicants. The sky above Mingfu Academy lit up with rays of light, and a talisman master wearing a white robe appeared in the rays of light, holding a solid talisman in his palm. It is indeed the core ancient talisman. Lin Muyu recognized at a glance that this ancient talisman was one of the core ancient talismans. The white-robed talisman master said loudly, "Congratulations to all of you for standing out among 100,000 people. You have the qualifications to get close to Tianzuan Gyut. The ancient talisman in my hand comes from Lord Tianzuan. This rune competition was also initiated by Lord Tianzuan. This ancient talisman is just one of the rewards. The winner will qualify for the finals." As soon as he said these words, everyone present was in awe and looked yearning, except Lin Muyu. Lin Muyu looked at the expressions of these people. They were uniform, too uniform. Even if it is a clay figure, BFBH, it is impossible to make it look so similar. Details, pay attention to the details. Lin Muyu sighed in his heart. The Holy Array Heavenly Lord seemed a little natural. When talking about yourself, you hope others will admire you. The white-robed talisman master continued, "I will announce the rules of the competition. There is an ancient talisman here, a third-level ancient talisman. Whoever can copy it the fastest will be the winner." While speaking, he had already thrown out the third-level ancient talisman used in the competition. The rules of the competition are very simple. There are no rounds of competition, and there is no complicated format. There is only one round. See who can imitate the third-level ancient talisman first. Lin Muyu said to himself, "It doesn't match the character of Xingfu Tianzuan. He was not like this before. There was no time when he was not extremely complicated. In order to obtain the inheritance, I had to solve the puzzles again and again, but they were all incredibly complicated. Although I learned a lot from it, the process was not pleasant and I would fail if I didn't do it right. Now that the rules have suddenly become so straightforward and simple, Lin Muyu is not suitable for it." He couldn't help but secretly cursed. Has the body of Holy Talisman Tianzuan been taken away by someone? With this thought in mind, his eyes had already fallen on the third-order tongue formation. The white-robed talisman master threw the third-level ancient talisman and made it hang above everyone's heads. The third-order ancient talisman rotates slowly for everyone to watch. Many people flew up to watch Taiwan from all corners. This ancient talisman? Lin Muyu also looked at this third-level ancient talisman, and the more he looked at it, the more familiar it seemed. He suddenly realized that this was just sending mail to the formation. The Containment Talisman Array is one of the powerful runes passed down by Holy Talisman Heavenly Lord. At that time, Holy Talisman Heavenly Lord said that the Containment Talisman Array was created by him. The entire Containment Talisman Array is composed of a large number of runes, and the structure of the runes is already quite complex by applying the method of reporting and splitting the runes. Unexpectedly, Holy Talisman Tianzuan went a step further and sublimated the Containment Talisman Array into an ancient talisman, and it was also a third-level ancient talisman. The third-level ancient talisman is the limit that the other shore realm can control. The Holy Lord is also considered to be in the other shore realm and is in this category. For any talisman master who has not reached the supreme realm, the third-level ancient talisman is no small challenge. Several talisman masters frowned, but unfortunately, everyone had the same expression. In terms of details, Holy Talisman Tianzuan still lacks a lot. Some talisman masters began to draw after observing for a while, but Lin Muyu knew something was wrong as soon as he started. The predecessor of this rune is the Containment Rune Array, which is unique to the Holy Array Tianzuan. The basis of the Containment Array is the method of dismantling the runes. Dismantling the runes is not something ordinary talisman masters can do. Lin Muyu started his performance with a smile on his face. After he was in the other side realm, he had not officially drawn the ancient talisman. But he is confident that with his understanding of runes, ancient runes of the first to third levels are no problem. He was so familiar with the Containment Talisman Array that he had drawn it countless times. Now we need to sublimate the Containment Talisman Array into an ancient talisman. If there is no model, we may need to study it carefully. But now there is clearly a model in front of me, so there is no need to study at all, just follow the drawing. Lin Moyu showed confidence. Holy Talisman, do you think too highly of yourself, or do you underestimate me? Only a few minutes later, while other talisman masters were still at a loss, Lin Moyu had drawn an ancient containment talisman, which looked no different from the one in the sky. Lin Moyu drew the ancient containment talisman and flew up automatically. The two ancient containment talismans were suspended side by side. For a while, it was difficult to tell which one was the one that needed to be copied. As long as you are not blind, you can see that Lin Moyu can imitate it without any problem. The white-robed talisman master announced in public, the talisman master number 95270 successfully drew the runes with the fastest speed and became the champion of the competition. As soon as the words fell, the sky filled with glow, everyone except Lin Moyu disappeared, and the sun seemed to have been sent away. Lin Moyu's eyebrows jumped. Is it so casual? This is no longer paying attention to details. It feels like Holy Talisman Tianzuan is in a hurry at this time. From the changes in the process, Lin Moyu could clearly feel the state of Sangfu Tianzuan at that time, and he was anxious. But since you are so anxious, why do you want to make such an arrangement? Is there something unspeakable? Lin Moyu really couldn't guess the mentality of Sangfu Tianzuan at that time. Anyway, it was very weird. The white-robed talisman master came to Lin Moyu with the core ancient talisman in hand. Number 95270 Talisman Master, do you want to continue the competition or stop here? That's it for now. This 5th level ancient talisman is yours. You can take it and leave. If you continue the competition, you may lose this 5th level ancient talisman. Lin Moyu asked, if I continue to compete and win, what rewards can I get? The white-robed talisman master said, you can get more ancient talismans. As he spoke, he raised his hand, meaning that the ancient talisman he obtained was of the same level as the ancient talisman in his hand. You don't need to think about it to know that if you continue the competition, the ancient talisman you obtain will also be one of the 12 core ancient formations. Currently, Lin Moyu has obtained 5 of the 12 core ancient talismans. If the remaining 7 can be collected, there may be a chance to create an ancient talisman warrior. In terms of combat power, it is definitely not as good as the one created by the Holy Talisman. Lin Moyu thinks it should be comparable to the Supreme. After all, it is a Supreme Realm combat power, so naturally the more, the better. Lin Moyu said almost without thinking, I choose to continue the competition. The white-robed talisman master nodded. Okay, the next competition will be held in the Holy Talisman City. If you hold it, it will take you there. Holy Talisman City. The city named after the Holy Talisman Tianzuan, Lin Moyu secretly thought, could it be the hometown of the Holy Talisman Tianzuan? After receiving the core ancient talisman from the white-robed talisman master, the core ancient talisman glowed and the space suddenly became distorted. Lin Moyu witnessed the disintegration and collapse of Mingfu City beneath him. At the same time, he seemed to have experienced a teleportation, and everything he saw was a dream. The clouds and mist beneath him changed, and the wind roared in his ears. Lin Moyu felt that he was rising and flying higher. This space is endless and has no boundaries at all. He didn't know how far he had soared. Under normal circumstances, he should have flown away from the planet and entered the starry sky. Lin Moyu felt a strong sense of unreality, as if he was in a dream world. Finally he stopped, stepping on Yun Yuan under his feet. In a distant place, there is a huge city floating. The city is hazy and majestic, like a heavenly palace, and cannot be described in words. What hit him was a deep shock. Even Lin Moyu, who was used to seeing galaxies collapsing and stars exploding, was shocked by this city. Holy Talisman City, the city of Holy Talisman Tianzuan, exudes the aura of Tianzuan. Before he could take a closer look, the clouds and mist had covered the city again, the space 100 meters away was distorted, and individual figures appeared. There were 6 people in total, and everyone was like him, a national talisman. Every ancient rune is one of the core runes. They are like the winners of rune competitions in various cities, coming here for the second round of competition, trying to win the runes in the opponent's hands. Although the plot evolution is sloppy, it is at least reasonable. Will the pace speed up again next? Lin Moyu was thinking, when a figure suddenly appeared in the sky. This figure was a little hazy and his true appearance could not be seen clearly, but Lin Moyu recognized it at a glance. This guy was the Holy Talisman Tianzuan. I have been in contact with Holy Talisman Tianzuan many times, and I will never admit my mistake. I thought he had completely left, but I didn't expect that he still left a trace of his soul here. Leaving remnant souls everywhere, what on earth are you going to do besides passing on your own inheritance? Lin Moyu was thinking to himself. The Holy Talisman Tianzuan in the sky waved his hand, and the ancient talismans in the hands of the 6 people flew up at the same time and gathered in the air. Holy Talisman Tianzuan's eyes swept over everyone, and a majestic voice sounded, "Today's competition, the winner will be the king. There is only one competition, the winner will get 6 runes, and the loser will get nothing." The Holy Talisman Tianzuan waved his hand, and the clouds and mist billowed, forming runes one after another. There are runes ranging from basic to advanced, no more, no less, exactly 999. The rules of the competition are as follows. Select some of the 999 runes to refine the rune puppet. The rune puppets refined by each engage in a melee, and the winner is king. The time limit is 100 hours, and the melee will begin after 100 hours. The plot rhythm has been sped up again. With the character of Xingfu Tianzuan, it will definitely not be so simple. Lin Moyu felt as if the Holy Talisman Tianzuan was watching him. This feeling was exactly the same as when he entered this space. From the moment he entered here, he felt that someone was monitoring his every move, and that person was obviously the Holy Talisman Tianzuan. It should be said that it is a remnant soul of the Holy Talisman. Xingfu Tianzuan didn't say anything, and Lin Moyu naturally wouldn't point it out. If you want to act, then I will act with you to the end. Let's take a look at the end to see what the purpose is. The time limit is 100 hours, neither too long nor too short. The 999 runes can be fused with each other to form new advanced runes, or they can be combined individually, and the combinations are almost endless. The key is not which runes you use, but whether the runes you use are reasonable, can complement each other, and ultimately exert strong combat power. This is a 6-person melee, and it's not enough to crush one person. If you want to win 100%, the refined rune puppet needs to be able to crush the other 5 people. Both defense and attack power are needed, and both must be as high as possible. You can only combine these runes, which also limits the final combat power of the rune puppets. There is also a time limit, 100 hours, the time is very tight. Several talisman masters on the side have already started to draw runes and start refining the puppets. Lin Moyu was motionless, he was still thinking about how to combine the runes to make the puppet have stronger combat power. Ordinary combinations will definitely not work. What he can do, others can do too. Several of his opponents were evolved from the runes of the Holy Talisman Heavenly Lord. Their own rune attainments are very strong, and ordinary methods will not play a decisive role. To win, they have to do something they don't know how to do. Liao Liao glanced at the actions of the other 5 talisman masters and silently knew what she was going to do. The methods used by these rune masters to refine rune puppets are very common, so the rune puppets refined in this way can only be regarded as quite satisfactory. The methods used by Holy Talisman Heavenly Lord to refine rune puppets are quite different, and there are many techniques unique to Holy Talisman Heavenly Lord. The most basic thing is to dismantle the runes, combine them into a rune array, and then refine them. Lin Moyu has received the inheritance of Holy Talisman Tianzuan, so he naturally understands this. He knew what he should do, and he felt he could do better. Because each of his runes can be perfectly integrated without any mistakes. Even the Holy Talisman Tianzuan may not be able to do this. An hour later, Lin Moyu started to work, and he selected a dozen runes. He multitasks. Some runes are dismantled and reassembled, and some runes are directly integrated into new ones. Then the new runes were fused a second time, and the ordinary runes were combined into three-dimensional runes, giving them the characteristics of ancient runes. Lin Moyu didn't know whether the three-dimensional runes he composed were considered ancient runes. I guess he does have a hint of Guren's characteristics. But compared to the ancient talisman, it seems to be missing something. Lin Moyu thought for a while and realized something was missing. Lacking rules and injecting the power of rules, the three-dimensional runes composed by oneself are still somewhat different from ancient runes. Lin Moyu used the rules of immortality to inject life into the runes. The combined runes suddenly bloomed with vitality, exuding the aura that truly belonged to ancient runes. Because this ancient talisman used the method of dismantling the runes, coupled with the existence of the power of life, even if it is broken up, it can still evolve independently. Of course, Lin Moyu also knows that his strength is weak, and it is impossible for him to be like the holy talisman god, and the scattered rune fragments can evolve into a secret realm. If it doesn't work now, it will definitely work in time. He has mastered the key core of rune evolution, and the remaining 607 things are no longer difficult. The power of different rules can give the ancient talisman different characteristics. Coupled with the effect of the ancient talisman itself, the effect of the calendar of rules can be multiplied. Lin Moyu gradually understood the four rules he had: immortality, time, space, and starlight. Lin Moyu murmured to himself, the life force of the immortal rules is the core, ensuring that the puppet can recover quickly after being injured. The power of time and death is a sword, and it has become the most fishy sword. Starlight is a shield, protecting the whole body. Space serves as a barrier, making it impossible for the enemy's attacks to cross. Once you have the confidence in your mind, you will start to move quickly. Runes were picked up by him one by one, dismantled and then reassembled to carry the power of rules. Lin Moyu created a rune puppet based on himself. Because there are no corresponding materials, this kind of rune puppet can only exist for a short time. Once the power in the runes is consumed, the puppet will disappear. No matter what, one fight is more than enough. The puppet holds a shield in its left hand, and the starlight rules provide it with powerful defense. The right hand holds a sword, which is composed of gold runes, which carries the rules of time and the calendar of death. A piece of armor evolved on his body. The rules of space flowed on the armor, and there were billions of miles of space inside. To break through this armor, the attack would have to travel hundreds of millions of miles to hit, and by then the attack would have been weakened by who knows how many times. Under the armor are core runes, which are full of vitality, and there are also some backup runes. Even if a rune is damaged, the power of life can quickly heal it, and the spare rune can be quickly replaced. 100 hours is too short, and Lin Moyu can only do this. After the time is up, all 6 of them stop at the same time. Everyone has been refined into a rune puppet, each with a different shape, but the common point is that they all look good, and the aura they exude is also very powerful, and they have all reached the peak of god status. After all, there are only so many runes provided by Holy Talisman Tianzuan, and there are no corresponding materials. It is already very powerful to reach this step. It looks almost the same, and you won't know until you fight it in real combat. The voice of the Holy Talisman Heavenly Lord sounded, "The time is up, all the rune puppets, start the melee." After the words fell, Lin Moyu and several other talisman masters automatically stepped back to make room for the rune puppet. The battle between the rune puppets suddenly broke out. Lin Moyu's puppet sword swung, and the sword light flashed. The speed of the sword light was astonishing, breaking the limitations of space and time, and instantly hit a rune puppet. The sword light is blessed by the rules of time, and the time belonging to it is slowed down. In reality, the speed becomes faster. 1 second for someone else is 2 seconds for him. The distance that originally took 2 seconds to reach can now be reached in 1 second. This sense of confusion in time is very strange. The sword light exploded, and the power of death swept out, corroding most of the opponent's rune puppets almost instantly. The rune puppet collapsed on the spot and turned into smoke. With one sword strike, a talisman master was eliminated. There was no surprise in Lin Moyu's eyes. He knew it was his own puppet. Blessed by the power of the 4 major rules, even if you encounter the real other side, you can still struggle for a while. Not to mention these rune puppets, they are nothing at all. Lin Moyu's puppet god of killing came and killed him directly. The sword light flew around and the sun sword returned. Some rune puppets resisted, and the attack was blocked by a starlight shield, which had no effect. There was no fierce battle, and no long-term entanglement. Lin Moyu's puppets were almost crushing and slaughtered the rest of the puppets in less than a minute. Whenever the puppet is eliminated, the talisman master will also disappear. The plot that belongs to them is over, and they will return to where they came from. In the end, only Lin Moyu and Xingfu Tianzuan were left staring at each other. Lin Moyu smiled. Long time no see, senior. Holy Talisman Tianzuan's eyes also showed light at this moment. It seems that you have really received the inheritance of this deity. The remaining souls of Holy Talisman Tianzuan all exist independently, and their memories do not belong to each other. But Lin Moyu's trick just now cannot be concealed from others. At a glance, this remnant soul can be understood to be his inheritance. Lin Moyu generously admitted, "Thank you, senior, for your guidance. Your inheritance has been of great help to the younger generation." Lin Moyu told the truth. Without the inheritance of the Holy Talisman Tianzuan, the Concealment Talisman and the Containment Talisman, his plan would not have gone so smoothly. Holy Talisman Tianzuan waved his hand. "Being able to obtain all the inheritance from me has proven your qualifications. Being able to get here further proves your strength. Counting these 6, you should have obtained 11 of the 12 core ancient talismans." As he spoke, he pushed the 6 core ancient talismans in front of Lin Moyu, and Lin Moyu took them away without any courtesy. "It's really just the last one." Lin Moyu knew that since the Holy Talisman Tianzuan said so, the last core ancient talisman must be here. Holy Talisman Tianzuan chuckled and said, "The first core ancient talisman you obtained is the Xuanqing Talisman. The Xuanqing Talisman is ever-changing, which means that the ancient talisman warriors have countless ways of fighting and attacking. And the last ancient talisman, called the True Spirit Talisman, is the most important one among the 12 core solid formations. His existence is like the soul of a living thing. You know its specific function." Lin Moyu instantly understood that the body is the carrier and the soul is the foundation. The same is true for the ancient talisman warrior. Without his soul, the ancient talisman warrior can only do one thing according to his master's orders. After having a soul, the ancient talisman warrior is equivalent to having a certain ability to think. The simplest metaphor is like the ancient talisman warrior giving birth to spiritual intelligence. Of course, this kind of intelligence is not very strong, but it is enough. The difference between yes and no is 4.5, don't be too big. Lin Moyu thought in his mind, the most ideal situation is for the ancient talisman warrior to give birth to his own weapon spirit, but it is obviously not possible. The ancient talisman warriors were too strong and the difficulty of birthing weapon spirits was too high, so Holy Talisman Tianzuan used another method, directly using runes to give ancient talisman Zhanshi false wisdom. Holy Talisman Tianzuan wants to evolve real life. It seems that this goal has never been extinguished. Lin Moyu said, "What should I do to get the True Spirit Ancient Talisman?" Holy Talisman Tianzuan chuckled, pointed his finger, and a vortex suddenly appeared in the void. "Go in and kill all the guys inside. The True Spirit Ancient Talisman will be yours, and I will also tell you the detailed refining method of the Ancient Talisman Warrior. I'd like to remind you in advance that it's very dangerous inside. You might die inside." Lin Moyu smiled casually and rushed into the whirlpool without thinking. Danger? I have faced danger so many times that I have lost count. Many times we have narrowly escaped death. If we were really afraid of death, we would not even enter the ruins on our fingertips. In addition, Lin Moyu has confidence in his own strength. No matter how dangerous it is, there will be limits. He has trump cards, and he can still fight even if he faces the Supreme. Breaking out of the whirlpool, Lin Moyu saw the boundless starry sky. The starry sky is extremely prosperous, and countless stars are shining behind it. The density of stars is hundreds of times that of the human world today. Is this the big world in ancient times? Lin Moyu said to himself, just looking at the number of stars, ancient times were much more prosperous than now. Holy Talisman Tianzuan appeared next to Lin Moyu. On the opposite side are your enemies, behind you are your teammates. The mission is to destroy the enemy. Do you want to be a commander or one of them? As my successor, I give you the right to choose. A large number of human warriors appeared in the starry sky. Each one of them has a powerful aura, almost all of them are from the other side, and their number exceeds 10 million. At the head are hundreds of saints. Among them, there is an existence with extremely powerful aura, standing at the front of the team, that is a Supreme. Even though he knew it was the evolution of runes, Lin Moyu had to sigh, the human race at that time was really powerful. The 10,000s of Beyond Realm is only part of it, and the human race's combat power is far more than this. On the other side of the starry sky, countless enemies emerged. The Black Blood Realm, the Starry Sky Behemoth, the Demon Clan, and the Golden Eagle Clan. The runes evolved all the enemies that the human race faced at that time, the invaders from the Black Blood world, the rebels from all races, and the controlled Starry Sky Beasts, they were all here. It makes Lin Moyu feel like he has returned to ancient times to participate in a great war. The number of enemies far exceeds the number of humans, at least 20 million. The number of saints also far exceeds that of human beings, reaching 20 people and one supreme being. Excluding the Supreme, in terms of quantity, it is exactly twice that of the human race. The two sides are hundreds of millions of kilometers apart, and a big explosion can break out at any time. Whether you become a commander or one of the soldiers, there is only one purpose, to destroy the opponent. On the surface, the human race is at a disadvantage, and it is almost impossible for the owl to win. Lin Moyu frowned slightly. This kind of test is too difficult for ordinary people. He calculated in his mind that he must have at least half the strength of the Supreme to lead this battle. The Supremes of the two sides fight, killing the other side's Holy Lord, and then letting the Holy Lord massacre the other side. That's for ordinary people, for Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu just wanted to say, that's it. In his opinion, this kind of difficulty is worse than using battle stars to give him a headache. The Holy Lord Tianzuan said with a smile, how about it? Do you choose to be a warrior or a commander? Lin Moyu shook his head, no choice, I'll do it myself. After the words fell, Lin Moyu turned into a stream of light and rushed into the battlefield. The moment he acted, war broke out. The human army launched a charge, and the opponent also launched a charge. But Lin Moyu was faster. He stepped on the galaxy of laws, and the laws of space surged. After 2 or 3 steps, he rushed into the enemy army. Holy Talisman Tianzuan narrowed his eyes slightly. What exactly is he going to do? He had not paid attention to the first 2 levels of fingertip relics, and did not know what Lin Moyu had done before. If he knew, maybe it wouldn't be surprising. The next second, the eyes of Holy Talisman's deity flashed. Could it be? In the starry sky, a massive army of undead suddenly appeared. The Skeleton God General, Death Dragon Knight, and Legion Ruler appeared almost at the same time. The white sword energy illuminated the dim starry sky, and countless enemies were swallowed by the sword energy and turned into runes and disappeared. With an absolute numerical advantage, the undead army counterattacked in an instant. There are many enemies evolved from runes, but Lin Moyu's undead army is even more numerous. Immediately afterwards, the immortal flames burned blazingly, and 25 skeleton kings flew out, killing the Holy Lord. The ruler of the Legion also released attacks to his heart's content, cooperating with the Skeleton King. By the time the tens of millions of human troops arrived, 3/5 of the enemy had been killed. A battle that was originally inevitable for the human race became extremely easy with Lin Moyu's intervention. The battle quickly became one-sided, with the human race having an absolute advantage. Boom! A saint self-destructed, huge power swept across the starry sky, and a large number of undead legions were killed. However, this is a world where runes evolve. The self-destruction of the Holy Lord did not destroy the starry sky, nor did it cause riots in deep space. The members of the undead legion who were killed recovered in the blink of an eye and continued to fight. The saints began to self-destruct one after another. If they were defeated, they would all self-destruct before they died. The undead legions also died in batches, and they could be quickly resurrected under the undead. Under Lin Moyu's intervention, the war turned completely one-sided. After only half an hour, the enemy was slaughtered. Even the Holy Lord fell during the siege. Among them, the human saint played a vital role, and Lin Moyu's undead army played a very weak role. Even the Skeleton King is of little use against the Holy Lord. Lin Moyu estimated that it would take at least 1,000,000 Skeleton Kings of the Saint Realm to kill a Supreme Being, and it was still a relatively small Supreme Being after all. At that level, quantity means less and less. What determines the life or death of a race is often its top combat power. As a result of the battle, everyone turned into runes again and disappeared. Lin Moyu returned to Shengfu Tianzuan and said, "Senior, the stare is over." Holy Talisman Tianzuan looked at Lin Mohan with a strange look. Lin Moyu was so scared that he asked, "Senior, is there any problem?" Holy Talisman Tianzuan shook his head and smiled, stretched out his hand to grab, and the two stars flew from far to near, and instantly flew to the hands of Holy Talisman Tianli. One of the 710 stars turned into an ancient talisman, the True Spirit Ancient Talisman. As one of the 12 core runes, the True Spirit Ancient Talisman is full of spirituality and is different from the other 11 ancient runes. At this point, all 12 core ancient talismans needed by the ancient talisman warriors have been gathered. Another star turned into a pearl, and the pearl recorded the detailed refining method of the ancient talisman warrior. It contains various details, what materials should be used, or what materials can be used instead, what other materials are used, what the effect is, etc. It can be seen that the Holy Talisman Tianzuan has made countless attempts to refine the ancient talisman warriors. No wonder he said that the ancient talisman warrior was the culmination of what he had learned throughout his life. After giving the True Spirit Ancient Talisman and the Pearl to Lin Moyu, the Holy Talisman Tianzuan was still looking at Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu felt more and more weird. "Do you have something to say?" Holy Talisman Tianzuan said, "I'm wondering, what is your identity?" These words are weird. Isn't he a human? What other identity can he have? Could he be able to tell that I came from time to time? Lin Moyu's heart skipped a beat, and he was a little unsure. Holy Talisman Tianzuan shook his head. "No, I should say, what is the relationship between you and him? Back then, why was he so sure that you would come here and must let me make various arrangements? Most of the original 12 ancient talismans were broken, and I didn't have time to repair them at that time. But he..." Holy Talisman Tianzuan talked about an ancient secret, which just explained Lin Moyu's previous doubts. At that time, Holy Talisman Tianzuan had made all preparations, left all the inheritance behind, and was about to leave this world. He had no intention of coming over to the Fingertip Ruins. Most of the 12 core ancient talismans had been broken, and the Holy Talisman Heavenly Lord had no intention of staying. This is consistent with the situation when Lin Moyu first obtained the Xuanqing Talisman. This was the feeling that the Holy Talisman Tianzuan gave him at that time. The whole world has been ruthlessly abandoned by these heavenly lords, and they don't have much nostalgia. Leaving behind a legacy, in his opinion, is already the greatest blessing. It was at that time that he found the Holy Talisman. Who is he? Holy Talisman Tianzuan didn't say it clearly, but it was not difficult to guess that he was the mysterious master. The mysterious master found the Holy Talisman and asked the Holy Talisman to do some heavy lifting. Even if Holy Talisman Tianzuan is not willing to do these things, he has to do them. Saint Talisman Tianzong Xian collected the remaining core ancient talismans, repaired the broken ancient talismans, and arranged them in the fingertip ruins. But at that time he was a little anxious. He wanted to leave the big world. You can't leave the big world if you want to. You need to meet certain conditions. Those conditions may not appear anytime and anywhere. This also explains why the Holy Talisman Heavenly Lord behaved so abnormally in the fingertip ruins, completely different from what he had seen before. The appearance of the mysterious master completely disrupted Holy Talisman Tianzuan's plan. In the end, Holy Talisman Tianzuan fulfilled the mysterious master's request and left the big world. Holy Talisman Tianzuan said with a hint of helplessness, "I thought that someone would come and take away the core ancient talisman in the future. It was just a speculation. I didn't expect it to be true. He really sees further than we do. It's a pity that he was still a little worse back then, otherwise we wouldn't have needed to leave. The outside world is full of wind and rain, and it's not necessarily that good. After all, you have to leave your hometown." Holy Talisman Tianzuan sighed and had a weird personality. The remaining soul left behind this time seemed to be the sentimental type. Lin Moyu asked, "Senior, did Tianzuan really die in battle back then?" Holy Talisman Tianzuan glanced at Lin Moyu. "Do you want to find Tianzuan's remains?" Lin Moyu admitted openly, "Yes." Holy Talisman Tianzuan's tone became serious. "I advise you not to seek death." Lin Moyu said hurriedly, giving instructions in front of his body. Holy Talisman Tianzuan said, "Tianzuan is different from the Supreme. The world of rules in Tianzuan's body will not collapse after death, but will evolve on its own. No one knows exactly what will happen. Anyway, I can tell you that it will be extremely dangerous. Don't say you are now. Even if you go to the pinnacle, you may not be able to come back safely. Tianzuan is another level. If you have the opportunity to reach Tianzuan in the future, you will naturally understand it. But, having said this, Holy Talisman Tianzuan sighed, the hope of this world is already slim. What he did back then, I feel, has no meaning." Lin Moyu did not refute. Being in different positions, he naturally has different views. He and the mysterious master were on the same page, feeling that the world could still be saved. Several Tianzuan have already made their own decisions, so they are not qualified to make any sarcastic remarks. The life and death of the big world has nothing to do with them. Holy Talisman Tianzuan narrowed his eyes slightly, looked around, and finally sighed, "This remnant soul of this deity will also be dispersed. Since you have become the inheritor of this deity, let me leave you something." Holy Talisman Tianzuan's whole body shimmered with light, Tianzuan's aura rose rapidly, and his silent words were pushed away by invisible force. Tianzuan's power is so strong that Lin Moyu has no way to resist. Even just a ray of remnant soul has enough power to kill the Supreme. A rune appeared in the palm of Holy Talisman Tianzuan. This rune was simple, powerful, and exuded an amazing aura. This is a 6th-level ancient talisman, which is more powerful than the 12-core ancient talisman of the ancient talisman warrior. The strength of the ancient talisman warrior lies in its combination. With 12 5th-level ancient talisman as the core, coupled with a large number of top-notch materials and a large number of other runes, an ancient talisman warrior that reaches the 7th level is finally formed. Taking out a single core ancient talisman, Yu Jie is not as good as before. Lin Moyu admired it like a work of art, but the more he looked at it, the more strange it became. Although this ancient talisman is powerful, Lin Moyu feels that it has only one function, and that is to escape. The Holy Talisman Heavenly Master condensed the 6th-level ancient talisman, which consumed a lot of power, and even the remains became illusory. When the 6th-level ancient talisman was completely condensed, the remnant soul of the Holy Talisman Tianzuan had almost disappeared. He sent the ancient talisman to Lin Moyu. "This is a life-saving talisman. If you really enter Tianzuan's ruins, this rune can save your life. Remember, there is only one rune. Once you use it, it will be gone." The life-saving talisman was permanently solidified by the Holy Talisman Heavenly Lord with the power of the Heavenly Lord. Just like the core ancient talisman, it will not dissipate as long as it is not used. Lin Moyu put away the life-saving talisman and saluted the Holy Talisman Tianzuan sincerely. Thank you, Senior. Holy Talisman Tianzuan laughed. This world has nothing to do with me anymore. I wish you good luck. As the voice fell, the Holy Talisman Heavenly Lord disappeared completely. He could feel the helplessness he felt when he decided to leave from Holy Talisman Tianzuan's mouth. Standing in the starry sky and seeing the Holy Talisman Tianzuan dissipate with his own eyes, Lin Moyu couldn't help but sigh. Big world, what on earth happened? Why in ancient times, the gods felt that the world was hopeless. 2 million years, such a long time, why don't the heavenly lords try to save the world? Suddenly a voice sounded, because they can't save us. Lin Moyu raised his head suddenly and saw a cloud of fog. This voice is so familiar that you will never forget it after hearing it once. The mysterious master is here, and there is not only the remnant soul left by the Holy Talisman Tianzuan, but also the mark left by the mysterious master. The mysterious master's methods are more sophisticated than those of Holy Talisman Heavenly Lord, and it is obvious that Holy Talisman Heavenly Lord does not know his existence. It wasn't until the Holy Talisman Tianzuan disappeared that the mysterious master appeared, as if everything was under his plan. I've met Senior. Lin Moyu saluted the mysterious master. Please ask Senior to clear up my doubts. The mysterious master was hidden in the mist, and a unique voice came out of the mist. Some changes have occurred in the ruins of the Great World. You can understand that the origin of the Great World has been severely damaged, and this severe damage is irreversible. As time goes by, the damage to the big world will become greater and greater until it finally collapses. If we can swallow the origins of other worlds, there may be a chance. The heavenly lords went to the boundary sea and saw the future direction of the Great World. In the next million years, no world will meet the heavenly world. At that time, there were only two paths left for the heavenly lords. One was for someone to be promoted to a Taoist and use the power of the Taoist to restore the origin of the world. The second is to leave the big world and cut off all causal relationships with the big world. Lin Moyu understood the meaning instantly, but the origin of the world has been damaged, and the road to promotion to the Taoist has been blocked. There are actually only 10 roads left for the Taoist. The mysterious owner whispered, "That's right." Lin Moyu listened carefully while speaking, but he could never sense the fluctuations of the mysterious master's soul. How to write your own dialogue without leaving any residual soul. The mysterious master once again touched an area that Lin Moyu could not understand yet. Lin Moyu stopped thinking about things that he couldn't figure out. But why doesn't Senior leave? The mysterious host said, "If I don't leave, I have a reason not to leave." Lin Moyu said, "Senior believes that there is a third way to go, and there is still hope for salvation in the world." The mysterious master let out a chuckle, seeming to be laughing. "Then what do you think the purpose of everything I do is?" These words. Lin Moyu felt inexplicably that the mysterious master's tone was somewhat familiar. The mysterious master continued, "It is true that the big world can be saved, but it will be very difficult. Once successful, the big world will have the opportunity to be reborn." The mysterious master spoke categorically. From his words, Lin Moyu could tell that he had deep feelings for the world, far more than those who escaped. Not only is he full of feelings, but he is also full of confidence in the world. He feels that the world has not yet reached its end. He once calculated far away, looked far away, and saw the direction of destiny. Destiny is constantly changing, and what he sees will definitely happen. At most, the probability is a little higher, but every step taken by the mysterious master is accurate, which is enough to prove his power. The mysterious master continued, "I did see a lot. Although it was just a fragment of fate, it was enough. Your appearance, your existence, is an opportunity for the big world. I have made a lot of preparations for this, which may be helpful to you." The reason why the Holy Talisman Tianzuan repaired all the broken core ancient talismans was because of the mysterious master. Not only that, he also left behind the world-burning fire, which allowed him to refine the crystallization of the world and build a perfect world of rules. Lin Moyu thinks he may have other arrangements. Senior, what if we fail? Lin Moyu asked. The mist surged, and the mysterious master chuckled. If it fails, it can only be said that this is what fate is. But if you don't give it a try, will you be willing? Are you willing? Lin Moyu's heart trembled slightly. The mysterious master's words were deafening. Are you willing? If you haven't tried it, how can you be willing to do it? Lin Moyu's voice was firm. His choice was exactly the same as that of the mysterious master. How could he be willing to accept it without trying it? The mist surged more violently, and the mysterious owners seemed to be laughing, but no sound came out. After a moment, a flash of fire suddenly lit up in the mist. The fire became brighter and brighter, flying out of the mist and turning into a ball of flame. This is the world-burning fire. Lin Moyu naturally recognizes it. But the world-burning fire in front of him was much purer and more powerful than his own. The mysterious master said, "This is the source of the world-burning fire that I condensed. You can use it to absorb it and enhance your own world-burning fire. When your world-burning fire is strong enough, refine these ruins. In this ruins, I have integrated into 2 supreme worlds of rules, and I can make world crystals." Lin Moyu's eyes suddenly lit up. This was the second gift from the mysterious master. For the first time, he passed the world-burning fire to himself. Later, the burning fire helped him several times and played a huge role. This time, he gave himself the source of his world-burning fire to strengthen his world-burning fire. Lin Moyu was a little moved. The mysterious master saw himself in the River of Destiny and made various arrangements. Millions of years apart, the two have the same purpose and want to save the world. Lin Moyu can feel from his words that he has deep affection for the world. Although my feelings for the world, BFCD, are not that deep, I still have to save the world for my wife, my relatives and friends. There are too many things here that he can't let go of. He can't swallow everything for his own way like those deities. Lin Moyu asked, "Senior, can I really not get Tianzuan's body?" The mysterious master said calmly, "There is nothing in the world that is unobtainable. The world is like this, and so is Tianzuan's corpse. It's just that the difficulty is different. If Dao Zun wants to get Tianzun's body, do you think he can get it?" Lin Moyu nodded. In the final analysis, it's still about strength. The mysterious master chuckled. In addition to strength, sometimes luck is also very important. Your luck has always been good, and with the inheritance of Yunwuzong, many dangers can be easily solved. The inheritance of Yunwu sect is very good. You can study it carefully. The virtual and the real are mixed together. That is the fundamental method. The mysterious master's voice gradually faded away, and the remaining soul began to dissipate. Since the source of the world-burning fire was handed over, the remaining souls have been dissipating at an alarming rate. His mission here is completed, and there is no need for him to exist. Lin Moyu sighed softly and saluted respectfully. "Well done, senior." For some reason, this mysterious owner gave Lin Moyu a sense of familiarity. At the same time, he felt that the mysterious master did not really leave. The arrangements left by the mysterious master did not stop there. Maybe they would meet again somewhere. Lin Moyu carefully recalled the words of the mysterious master. It seems that a Tianzuan really died in the battle. It's just that Tianzuan's body is extremely difficult to obtain and very dangerous, but it's not completely impossible to obtain. Luck is very important. The inheritance of Yunwu sect is very important. It is not enough to just understand the truth and reality. Luck, cause and effect. Xiaowu has understood the laws of luck. Maybe he can use Xiaowu's power. Lin Moyu thought a lot for a while and considered various possibilities. Finally, he stopped his racing thoughts and focused on the origin of the world-burning fire. This flame exudes a strong original aura. Absorbing it can greatly enhance your world-burning fire. It is difficult to cultivate the world-burning fire. The world tree continues to supply soul power and nutrients, but it will take tens of thousands of years to grow the world-burning fire. Before this, the fire of burning the world could only refine some broken worlds, but it would not be able to cope with a larger world. The fingertip ruins are integrated into two supreme worlds of rules, and it is almost impossible to refine them with just your own world-burning fire. Now, as long as you can absorb the origin of the world-burning fire, you can make your world-burning fire grow rapidly. Lin Moyu no longer hesitated and began to absorb the origin of the world-burning fire. He had a premonition that the world-burning fire would be of great use in the future. In the central hall of the divine city, Chen Xingzuan brought the latest news. Fu Xingzuan's eyes were serious. It's almost as expected by Master Lin. Both the Demon Clan and the Golden Eagle Clan have left the fire outside the territory. The Golden Eagle tribe, under the leadership of the Eagle Emperor, paid a huge price and broke through the border area. The Eagle Emperor's clone had a battle with Tianlong, and the Eagle Emperor's clone seemed to have been severely injured. Over the Demon Clan, we detected the activation of an ancient power. Based on the Human Emperor's database, we determined that the Demon Ancestor altar should have been activated. After the altar was activated, the aura of the saints in the Demon tribe disappeared. It seems that they sent several saints outside the territory. We are looking for the hidden location of the Black Blood Realm and have already locked several star fields. Relying on the surveillance system from ancient times to the present, Xingzuan Fu obtained a large amount of information, combined with the intelligence heard from the Shimu ancestral tree. Through rigorous analysis, more realistic results are obtained. Tian Xingzuan sneered, "It's okay, as long as the big head is still there, you can ignore some details for the time being. Outside the territory is not a good place. If you go there, you may not be destined to come back." Saint Hao said, "It is indeed similar to what Lin Xiaoyu predicted. As one of the powerful clans, the Demon Clan has produced Qinzuan before, so it will definitely leave behind a legacy." Xingzuan Fu said with a hint of worry, "Master Lin has been going to the fingertip ruins for several months, and I don't know when he will be able to return." Tian Xingzuan shook his head. "It's hard to say. The fingertip ruins are too big and there are many dangers inside, so it may take a lot of time. Little friend Lin left a skeleton behind before he left. As long as the skeleton is fine, he will be fine." Saint Hao said, "I believe in Xiaoyu Lin's strength. Nothing will happen to him." In the corner of the central hall, a skeleton as white as jade stood quietly and motionless. As long as it is fine, it means Lin Moyu is safe. In the outer starry sky, the three Demon Clan saints stopped. Behind them, there is a team for each blood. Each team is hundreds of thousands. They left the territory and have been flying outside the territory for several months. The Demon Lord of Hell said, "Let's separate here. I hope we can meet again if we have the opportunity in the future. There will be a chance. One day, we will fight back and destroy the human race." The voice of hatred echoed outside the territory, and the three teams separated and disappeared into the darkness. In a place extremely far away from them, a team of the Golden Eagle tribe was also advancing rapidly, flying farther and farther. Lin Moyu's whole body was shrouded in flames. The immortal golden body spontaneously ignited fire, and the immortal flames flowed on the surface of the skin. And beyond the immortal flame is the world-burning fire. The two flames look very similar, but they are fundamentally different. The immortal flame contains the power of life. This power points directly to the source and can resurrect creatures that have been dead for countless years and become resurrected. The fire of burning the world is pure death, refining the entire destruction and destroying it completely. Lin Moyu's realm is getting higher and higher now, and he can see more and more things clearly. He found that the immortal flame and the world-burning fire were opposite to each other, completely opposite. This is very similar to the law of immortality, where the power of life and the power of death coexist. The two flames seem to be able to coexist without conflict. So he covered his whole body with the world-burning fire, and the immortal flame flowed on the surface. As expected, there was no conflict between the two flames. One is positive and the other is negative. One is false and the other is true. The immortal flame seems real, but in fact it contains virtual power. It seems to be related to the fate of time. It can find traces from the distant past to perform resurrection. The fire that burns the world is a real force that burns the world, destroys everything, and removes all traces. Lin Moyu's eyes were thoughtful, sensing the world-burning fire and the immortal flame, and clearly understood the similarities and differences. He wanted to know what was going on and why. Time passes day by day, and it turns out to be 1,000 years in the blink of an eye. Lin Moyu remained motionless in the ruins for 10 years. In the past 10 years, not only has he completed the absorption of the origin of the world-burning fire, but his own world-burning fire has been enhanced at least 10 times. At the same time, his understanding of the world-burning fire has also been greatly improved, and he can control it more easily. 10 years later, Lin Moyu said to himself with a bit of madness in his eyes, the fire of burning the world can burn the world, and it can also burn the origin of the world. Then the Tao poison in my body should also be burned out. Lin Moyu felt that his judgment was correct. After a long period of enlightenment, a lot of Tao poison remained, and only part of it was dissipated in 10 years. According to calculations, it will take at least 30 to 50 years before the Tao poison will be completely eliminated. If the world-burning fire can remove the Tao poison, then the next steps can be carried out in advance, saving a lot of time. Lin Moyu found the location of the Tao poison, just above the soul, with an inconspicuous small mark. That is the imprint planted by the Great World Rune, and I have tried various methods but cannot remove it. Even after self-destructing the soul, the Tao poison cannot be removed by using the rebirth talent. The sound of the Buddha's trumpet sounded, and the Buddhist lich appeared beside me. Using the truth-seeing technique, Lin Moyu tried to use the law of fate to verify whether his idea was feasible and whether the world-burning fire could remove the Tao poison. As soon as the truth-seeing technique was activated, the Buddhist lich let out a fierce scream, and flames suddenly appeared on his body, and he was instantly burned to ashes. Lin Moyu was stunned for a moment. The Buddha kingdom is dead. The world-burning fire jumped just now, directly burning out the law of destiny, and at the same time burning out the Buddhist lich. It seems that the lich of the Buddhist kingdom is too weak. Once too much power is involved, it will not be able to function. This is not the first time this has happened. The upper limit of lich in the Buddhist kingdom is too low to involve too much power. It seems I can only try it myself. Lin Moyu's heart moved and he used the explosive luck technique to improve his luck to the extreme. He was blessing himself. The explosive luck technique might bring him good luck. Regardless of whether it worked or not, improving luck would never go wrong. Amidst the roar of the dragon, the world-burning fire touched the location of the poison. There seemed to be a sizzling sound, and there was a strong pain in the soul. Lin Moyu groaned, gritting his teeth and humming, "It's really uncomfortable to have your soul burned." Although it hurt, there was surprise in his eyes. Under the burning of the world-burning fire, the Tao poison was actually reduced. Even Tao poison can be refined and burned. The power of the world-burning fire is amazing. It hurts, as long as it works. Lin Moyu gritted his teeth and endured it. He did it carefully, fearing that his soul would be burned out if he was not careful. Half an hour later, the Tao poison was finally removed, and Lin Moyu immediately moved away the world-burning fire. The majestic soul power comes from the world tree, replenishing the consumption. Lin Moyu breathed heavily, feeling the pain receding like a tide, and laughed at himself. "I am the only one who has burned my soul with fire since ancient times." No matter how painful the process is, if the Tao poison is eliminated, that is a great thing. Lin Moyu's eyes became determined. "Next, it's time to refine you." The world-burning fire emerged from the palm and flew away, exploding in the void. In an instant, the world-burning fire crossed the space fortress and swept through the entire ruins in just a few seconds. A large number of ruins collapsed in the burning fire, and the space became distorted and collapsed. The world-burning fire burns souls and refines the world, and its power is extremely terrifying. Even the remnant soul of the Supreme Being cannot withstand the fire of burning the world, and the world of rules left behind after the Supreme Being's death is even more unstoppable without its leader. Lin Moyu can clearly feel that the world is collapsing, and countless rules of power have emerged in the world of rules, and all of these rules have been burned out. The power of rules, after being burned, becomes a pure power without any impurities. This power has no attributes and does not contain any laws and rules, but it seems to be able to evolve into any laws and rules. This power should be the original power of the world. Lin Moyu had a clear understanding in his heart that the power of the origin of the world is extremely important to the great world and is the key to repairing the great world. In the process of the world of big rules being refined, part of the original power returned to the world and returned to the big world. The other part was refined into world crystals for his own use. This part of the original power has no mark and is of little use to the larger world. After the death of the Supreme Heavenly Lord, most of their power will return to the big world, and the cycle will continue endlessly. But Tianzuan left, taking away the power of the great world, breaking the cycle of life. Lin Moyu finally understood why Tianzuan said that he had ghosts in the world. Because of their departure, the already traumatized world was further hurt. Just like adding salt to the wound, as a person in the big world, you will naturally feel guilty. Lin Moyu did understand, but there was nothing he could do about it. After all, he is a god, and everyone has left, so what else can he do? The only hope to repair the big world now is the Dojie that will come in more than 1,000 years. Refining the Dojie and allowing the great world to absorb the origin of the Dojie, only in this way can it be possible to restore the great world's vitality. The ruins at the fingertips are roaring, vibrating, and constantly collapsing. It gets smaller and gradually disappears. 10 days later, the traces on his fingertips disappeared into the starry sky. The fingertip ruins disappeared, and Fu Xingzuan received the news immediately. They know that Lin Moyu succeeded. The hearty laughter of the heavenly saint came from the central hall. Young Lin is really powerful, even the ancient ruins can't stop him. Saint Hao also smiled and said, there are only 5 of the 6 ancient ruins left, and Xiao Yu Lin should probably visit them all. Yes, I will go there. Lin Moyu appeared at the door of the central hall and walked in. The saints stood up one after another. Little friend Lin, I'm finally back. Congratulations to Master Lin on his successful return. In the 10 years since Lin Moyu went to the fingertip ruins, the human race's gods have been transporting galaxy resources. During this period, we also encountered some sporadic resistance, but it was of no use and only resulted in the death of a few more people. The alliance of hundreds of tribes has completely collapsed, and the Demon Tribe and the Golden Eagle Tribe have each closed the star field. In fact, they also know what fate awaits them. The decision made by the Eagle Emperor and the Demon Lord was actually to leave a way out for their race. Only the people in the Black Blood realm have not been found yet. They are like bedbugs, hiding in dark places and difficult to find. Lin Moyu is not in a hurry about these things. Now that he has the method to clean up Dao poison, the next thing will be easier to handle. The human race's plan has not changed, and it will take decades to move the galaxy. Lin Moyu returned to the Divine City and told several saints about what he encountered in the fingertip ruins. Speaking of the 12 core ancient talismans, there may be a chance to refine the ancient Battle King again. Lin Moyu handed the 12 core ancient talismans to 200 to Fu Xingzuan and gave him the detailed refining method for him to study first. He has other things to do and doesn't have the time for the time being. After discussing in the central hall for half a day, Lin Moyu left again. He came to the Sword World and stopped outside the Sword World. The Sword World has been sealed. Standing outside the Sword World, you can feel the sword intention in it. Wisps of the power of rules were revealed, and Mou felt the aura of his elder sister. Lin Mohan's aura was much stronger than before. Lin Moyu knew that she had stepped into the Holy Master and was building a world of rules at this moment. Building a rule world is a complex process that takes a long time. Generally, the saints build an outline and then gradually improve it to make it powerful. The entire process can take as short as 100 years or as long as hundreds or thousands of years. Lin Moyu didn't know what stage his elder sister had reached, so he couldn't disturb her anyway. Lin Mohan also seemed to sense Lin Moyu, and a sword cry sounded in the sword world and spread outside the world. Lin Moyu smiled slightly. "I got it, sister. Please do it slowly." After finishing speaking, Lin Moyu took a step forward and disappeared. The starry sky became quiet again, and silent words moved forward silently in the starry sky. Pieces of void were twisted and folded, and gates to space kept appearing. Lin Moyu kept opening the door to space and left the human star field in the blink of an eye. Next he has to do two things, which is to search for the fish that have slipped through the net. Most of the races in the 100 Races Alliance have been extinct, and some still have remnants. In the eyes of Lin Moyu, these people are the cause and effect and the rewards of the big world. To cut off cause and effect for the world, these people must die. The second thing is to find the Dragon Ball. What you promised Tianlong must be done. Lin Moyu arrived at the edge of the domain and then began to slow down. Every time the space gate opened, the distance was about 100 light years. Every 100 light years, Lin Moyu releases 10,000 skeleton generals to search nearby. He has 2.5 billion skeleton generals, enough to cover a large star field. We have used up all the skeleton god generals, and there are still 500 million Death Dragon Knights. The undead army has undead vision, and the undead vision can see the soul flame, and the distance is relatively far. No matter how hard the fish slips through the net, it is useless. Especially after the undead army collectively advanced to the other side realm, the ability of the undead vision became stronger, and they could still be seen even if they were hiding in formations or among the broken stars. Massive undead legions were scattered across the starry sky and began a mighty search and sweep. The fish that slipped through the net were soon discovered. Facing the undead army on the other side, the fate of the fish that slipped through the net was already doomed. While looking for the fish that slipped through the net, Lin Moyu also started looking for the dragon beads. Of the 5 Dragon Balls, 3 are in the domain, 1 of them has been recovered, and 2 are missing. Before taking action, I had already searched in the star territory of the human divine city, but no Dragon Balls were found. There is a lot of space in the domain, so it takes a lot of effort to find it. Lin Moyu didn't have any good ideas, so he could only find it bit by bit. The explosive luck technique continues to operate, bringing good luck to Lin Moyu. After understanding the power of virtuality and reality, Lin Moyu knew how magical the explosive luck technique was. Luck is more important than strength when looking at it. The starry sky gradually becomes sparse, and more stars are being transported. There are more and more stars in the human star field. As resources increase, luck also increases. In recent years, many heavenly groups have emerged among the human race. Their talents are outstanding and their cultivation speed is extremely fast. The emergence of geniuses in large numbers is also a sign that the human race is reaching its peak. The human race has begun to usher in a prosperous era of cultivation, and everyone is full of confidence. It has never been so good in 100,000 years. In the demon clan's ancestral land, and the demon ancestor altar, the flames burn all year round. The demon lord controlled the corpse of the supreme realm demon, sitting in the altar, enduring the flames. The vitality on the corpse has been increasing, especially in the past 10 years, and low growls will come from the mouth from time to time. The low roar was full of anger and hatred, and every time he roared, more flames would roll back, entering the house. In the past year, the corpse's eyes have glowed red, revealing a strong murderous intent. Human race, I want you to pay the price. Finally, Tato roared with hatred. He was still absorbing the flames, and the demon ancestor altar continued to vibrate and glow, and the roaring sound continued. Among the Golden Eagle clan, the Eagle Emperor looked very ugly. After a bloody battle, his clone finally fought his way out of the border area and fled outside the territory. But not long ago, they encountered a disaster outside the territory. They encountered an ancient human warship, which attacked their team without any warning. The battleship has the combat power of the Saint Realm, and the Eagle Emperor's clone is no match. Many tribesmen died under the attack of the battleship. In the end, he let his tribe members flee first, and he chose to die together with Zhang Jian. His clone died, and his clansmen fled in all directions, their life and death unknown. He also completely lost contact with his tribe. The outside world is not a good place. It is difficult to say how many people can survive. All the saints in the clan died in the battle, and now even his clones are dead. These things are all done by the human race. He roared, turned into a golden eagle, and flew towards the core area of the Golden Eagle clan. Human race, even if we lose, we won't make it easy for you. His voice echoed continuously within the Golden Eagle clan, filled with hatred and anger, shaking the starry sky. Lin Moyu woke up from the state of enlightenment again. Over the years, almost a fifth of the space within the domain has been searched. Several more races were wiped out, and Lin Moyu entered the state of enlightenment several times. The time may be long or short, ranging from more than 10 days to 1 or 2 days. Every time he attains enlightenment, it means that a race is completely destroyed, and the world is cut off from another cause and effect. This enlightenment lasted for 3 days, and a small tribe died on May 2nd. Lin Moyu is filled with the power of rules, which is much stronger than before. Now 1/3 of the laws have been sublimated into the power of rules. When enlightening, the laws sublimate very quickly. 3 days can take up to 1 or 2 years. The 4 laws all have to be sublimated, which is indeed a little slower than the ordinary other side realm. Lin Moyu chuckled. Although the 4 laws are powerful, it will take 4 times as long to sublimate into the power of the rules. Without the help of enlightenment, this step alone would have taken Lin Moyu at least 100 years, and he would have been unable to move for literally hundreds of years. Now with the help of enlightenment, the time required is greatly shortened. The world-burning fire ignited, and Lin Moyu let out a muffled groan. The little bit of Dao poison that had just been formed was burned by the fire of burning the world. Continue. Lin Moyu's heart moved, and he opened the door to space again, crossing hundreds of lights, and took out the dragon-seeking ball at the same time. A faint light bloomed in the starry sky, and the dragon-seeking ball finally responded. Finally found. Lin Moyu's eyes were filled with joy. After searching for the Dragon Ball for more than 10 years, he finally got a reaction. The Dragon Ball Searcher can detect Dragon Balls within 1,000 light years, which is still far away at this time. The door to space opened several times, each time 100 light years away. Lin Mo asked to quickly approach the location of the Dragon Ball. As he got closer and closer to the Dragon Ball, the joy in his eyes gradually faded and disappeared. By the time he arrived at his destination, his joy had completely disappeared and was replaced by caution. This is a dim starry sky, not much light. You can vaguely see a space in a distorted state, not an obvious vortex like the entrance to the secret realm. This distorted starry sky is very inconspicuous, and you will fly into it if you are not careful. In the human race's star field map, this area is marked red and is an extremely dangerous area. This is one of the 6 ancient ruins. Now that there is no fingertip ruins, the 6 ancient ruins have now been renamed the 5. This ancient ruins is called Shiryun Ruins. 70,000 years ago, the human race once had a saint named Shiryun. Back then, Holy Lord Stone Meteor came here to explore and eventually fell inside. At that time, there was a heavy rain in the human race, covering most of the human race star field, and it rained for a whole day. This ruins has since been named the Stone Meteor Relics. Among the 6 major ruins, 3 ruins have saints who died in them and are classified as particularly dangerous. The Stone Meteorite Ruins are one of them. In terms of danger, Stone Meteorite Ruins are much more dangerous than Fingertip Ruins. The fingertip ruins did not evolve naturally. After being transformed by the holy talisman, it became more like a highly difficult secret realm. The danger is actually not high. But the stone meteorite ruins. I didn't expect the Dragon Ball to be inside. This result is really not good. Lin Moyu would rather the Dragon Ball be in the Demon Lord or the Eagle Emperor than in such a dangerous ruin. Things don't go as expected, that's the fact. Lin Moyu thought for a while and did not rush in immediately. There are many dangers in the ruins, and you don't know what will happen. The undead army was all busy at the moment. If he took back all the undead army, he would have to redo the previous arrangements, which would be too time-consuming and laborious. Let's come back later, the Dragon Balls won't run away anyway. Now that he knew the Dragon Ball was here, Lin Moyu didn't need to worry. He immediately turned around and left to find the whereabouts of the other Dragon Ball. In the following 10 years, Lin Moyu continued to search for the Dragon Ball, and from time to time would enter a state of enlightenment. The fish that slipped through the net were found one by one and killed, leaving no one left. More and more laws are sublimated into rules, and silent words gradually gain a foothold in the other side. 60 years after the sweep, the space within the domain was completely swept by Lin Moyu, and most of the fish that slipped through the net were found. It's a pity that in the past 60 years, the whereabouts of the third Dragon Ball has not been found. However, Lin Moyu has roughly locked the location of the Dragon Ball, and 89 of them are in the Golden Eagle clan. At this time, the starry sky was finally moved clean. The scope of the human star field remained unchanged, but the number of stars inside increased several times. Lin Moyu can see that the human star field is shrouded in an illusory fog, which is the fate of the human race. Resources and luck are closely related. The more resources you occupy, the more prosperous your race's luck will be. Lin Moyu didn't think what he did was cruel, and even if it was wrong, it wasn't his fault. Those races should have been exterminated in ancient times. It was just that the human race in ancient times was too kind, which caused the final big mistake. He is just setting things right now, correcting the mistakes of the past. Lin Moyu can say one thing, a clear conscience. The fortress of the god of war flew out of the human star field. Now, the human race has once again drawn its sword, pointing directly at the Demon Clan and the Golden Eagle Clan. Lin Moyu was waiting outside the star territory. When the god of war fortress arrived, he also entered it. I've met all the seniors. In the fortress of the god of war, all the saints from the human race gathered together. This time the human race did not send out a large army, only the 8 saints and the god of war fortress were dispatched, and even the other shore realm was not touched. With the undead army here, there is no need to move in the other side realm at all. Lin Moyu's undead army is stronger than the human army. 3 billion on the other side is a terrifying number when you think about it. Tianqingzhen and others are thankful again and again that Lin Moyu belongs to the human race. If Lin Moyu is a member of the demon tribe, then the humans will be the ones who are finished. At this time, the human race has 8 saints. The Flame Saint has perfected his world of rules, and the information is much more powerful than before. Lin Mohan stood aside, her beautiful face was tinged with frost, and she occasionally showed a smile, but it was only for Xiao Wu. Xiao Wu stood next to Lin Mohan very obediently, whispering to Lin Mohan from time to time. After Lin Moyu said hello, he came to Lin Mohan. Xiao Wu originally wanted to rush over and hang next to Lin Moyu, but Lin Mohan stopped her with her eyes. Xiao Wu is quite obedient to this elder sister. Sister, is your practice going well? Lin Moyu and Lin Mohan walked side by side to the other side. Lin Mohan nodded slightly, it's going pretty well. Most of the rules world has been completed, only the last step is left. Lin Moyu heard a different meaning. What should we do in the last step? What conditions are required? Lin Mohan said, kill someone to stain your sword. How many to kill? 1 is enough, the stronger the better. Lin Moyu understood, then let my sister deal with the Demon Lord. I'm going to watch the show. Lin Mohan chuckled. What if? Is it possible that those guys can deal with the Demon Lord? There was no disdain in her tone, just confidence in herself. Among the people present, apart from Lin Moyu, she was the only one who could deal with the Demon Lord. This is a fact and requires no modesty. Lin Moyu's heart skipped a beat as he thought of the mysterious master. Why is the mysterious master's tone so similar to Lin Mohan's? That's weird. Maybe it's just the way they talk. Could it be said that my sister is the reincarnation of the mysterious master? It is said that Lin Mohan is the reincarnation of an ancient powerful man. If it is really the reincarnation of the mysterious master, it seems that it is not impossible. But so what, even if the mysterious master of 553 is reincarnated, Lin Mohan is still her sister, and this will not change. Lin Moyu threw away the unwanted thoughts and said, Okay, let my sister kill the Demon Lord when the time comes, and we will do the rest. The God of War fortress sank silently into the deep space, flying towards the Demon Clan domain. For 60 years, the Demon Star Field has been completely closed and has become extremely quiet. They were waiting for the storm to come, and now, the storm has come. The God of War's fortress appeared outside the Demon Clan, without any warning, and launched an attack. The starry sky shook, the barrier shattered, and the Demon Clan's police sirens wailed. Countless stars were activated, and the barriers lit up one by one, but the barriers alone could not block the God of War's fortress. Lin Moyu has disappeared silently. He keeps opening the door to space, circling around the Demon Clan star field, and constantly releasing the undead army. The undead army formed a large net and surrounded the Demon Star Field. The purpose is simple: don't let any devil go. The God of War fortress advanced all the way. Without the Holy Lord, the Demon Clan could not stop the God of War fortress at all. The stars in the Demon Clan were bright and flames erupted, forming powerful demons and heading straight for the God of War's fortress. The barrier evolves into a demon and makes the final resistance. The door to space opened, and Lin Moyu appeared inside the Demon Clan. With a tap of his finger, the Hell of Bones flew out, covering the starry sky and swallowing the galaxy. I've been hungry for a long time. Eat as much as you like. The smile at the corner of Lin Moyu's mouth was a little cruel. What the demons once did to the human race, today they will do it back twice as much. The undead army just defended and did not attack. The demons are the food of the skeleton hell, and they will not rob them. In the war between hundreds of tribes, the Bone Hell has devoured a large number of creatures. Then they wiped out the Bull Demon Clan and once again devoured a large number of creatures. At that time, Lin Moyu injected the law of immortality into the Bone Hell. After the fusion of virtual and real power, the Bone Hell has now reached the edge of promotion. According to Lin Moyu's calculations, the Demon Clan is enough to advance the Skeleton Hell to the other side. For the Skeleton Hell, the journey between God and the other side is definitely a huge leap. In future wars, the Bone Hell will definitely play a huge role. This had been planned by Lin Moyu a long time ago. The Saints led the God of War fortress to attack the fort, and then left the rest to Lin Moyu. If you encounter the Demon Lord, you don't need to worry too much because of Lin Mohan. However, Lin Moyu still stayed for a while. He gave the Eye of Blood to Mavericks, and at the same time, he gave it to the Resurrector of the Black Blood Realm from the other side. If the situation is not right, Mavericks will use the Eye of Blood to deal with the Demon Lord. Large swathes of galaxies were devoured, and countless creatures became the food for the evil spirits in Hell and the nourishment of the Bone Hell. The river of fire in Hell surges endlessly, setting off huge waves of 10,000 meters, drawing a large number of demons into it. The demon who was swallowed into the river of fire screamed in agony, his body was quickly melted, and he never had a chance to escape. Even if it is a god, it is useless. Facing the river of hellfire, there is still only one death study. The Demon Clan is an old and powerful clan with thousands of galaxies, second only to the human clan. Compared with him, the Bull Demon Clan is simply dwarfed by the giants. The gap is huge. The more galaxies there are, the more galaxies mean there are more demons, and the more food there is in the bone hell. Lin Moyu could feel that the bone hell was growing rapidly and approaching the other side. On the other side, the Holy Lords control the God of War's fortress with overwhelming force and unstoppable force. There are countless barriers in the demon clan, but they were all shattered by the powerful attacks of the saints. The saints, with the determination to kill, entered the core star field of the demon clan. Countless demons came out of the core star field, and there were gods and the other side. This is the base camp of the demon clan, with the largest number of demons and the strongest strength. But all the saints in the demon clan are gone, and relying solely on the other shore realm and the gods is almost like sending death. The sword saint snorted coldly, a bunch of rubbish. She swung her long sword and evolved countless sword energies that swept across the starry sky. The sword of the Holy Lord, the other shore realm and the Divine Lord cannot stop it at all. In the aftermath, some weak gods were already dead. The faces of the people in the other shore realm changed drastically, and they all used their full strength to resist the sword energy. Tai! The demons in the other shore realm roared, and they rushed to the front to block most of the sword energy for the god. Blood was flying in the starry sky, and there were countless broken limbs and pieces of flesh. Although the people in the other shore realm did not die, each of them was seriously injured. Even though everyone calls it the other side, the Holy Lord's combat power still completely crushes the ordinary other side. The deities were even worse. Dozens of people died and the village temple was severely damaged. The sword saint snorted coldly, the world of rules emerged, and he wanted to use his sword again. Tian Xingzuan said, "Take it easy, don't destroy the galaxy, these are resources." The sword master raised his eyebrows slightly. "Don't worry, I have the crown." She swung her long sword lightly and put away most of her power. In an instant, the starry sky transformed into a sea of swords, and countless sword energies intertwined into the sea, shrouding the demons. The demons were in despair, and they had no power to resist the Holy Lord. A big hand appeared out of thin air, carrying blazing flames, and destroyed the sea of swords with a bang. The sea of swords was destroyed and the power of the sword was interrupted. The sword saint could not help but frown, feeling uncomfortable. Several saints suddenly became vigilant. They knew that the devil had arrived. After all, the demon lord is also a half-step supreme and is extremely powerful. A boundless sea of fire appeared in the starry sky, and a hoarse voice came from the sea of fire, "You all stand down." The god of war fortress slowly stopped, facing the sea of fire. The saints saw a demon appearing in the sea of fire, shaped like a mummy without a trace of flesh and blood. There was a powerful aura exuding from his body, pressing down on the Holy Lord's head, making it difficult for chi and blood to flow smoothly. Not the demon lord? Where did this demon come from? It has such a strong aura, stronger than the demon lord. Several saints looked at each other, a little unsure. Saint Hao's eyes moved slightly, as if he had thought of something. It is said that the demon clan's demon ancestor altar has the ability to resurrect demons. If the demon clan keeps a supreme-level demon corpse, the demon lord will control it and resurrect it. Several saints became more and more serious, and something seemed to have happened unexpectedly. The demon lord controls a demon of the supreme realm. Although it may not be able to exert the combat power of the supreme realm, it is still the supreme realm after all. It is definitely better than the demon lord himself, otherwise the demon lord would not go to such trouble to do these things. A demon in the supreme realm who is stronger than the demon lord, even if it is only the weakest demon in the supreme realm, is still a supreme realm. Several saints have a headache. How to deal with it? Suddenly there was a loud shout, "Xiao Wu, men!" Lin Mohan transformed into a long sword and flew out of the god of war's fortress, heading straight towards the demon lord. Xiao Wu gave a sweet shout at the same time, and the hazy law galaxy appeared above her head. The laws of luck were rolling around, and Xiao Wu Jiao shouted, "I want you to suffer great misfortune." The demon lord's luck was suddenly greatly weakened, and Xiao Wu turned pale at the same time. Taking the body of the other shore realm, he jumped over the level and forcibly changed his luck, and the backlash was not small. Fortunately, the other party is not in the real other side realm, otherwise Xiao Wu's backlash would be more serious, or at least he would be severely injured. The demon lord felt as if he had lost something. This feeling was very strange, as if his connection with the mummy had been forcibly weakened, and his movements had become no longer flexible. He roared angrily, and the flames surged wildly to drive away these discomforts. Lin Mohan cut through the flames and reached the demon lord. The world of rules unfolded, and an extremely terrifying giant sword appeared in the starry sky. Lin Mohan's world of rules is revealed to the public for the first time. The giant sword is hundreds of millions of miles long, but the tip of the sword cannot be seen. The sword exuded an aura of despair, and several saints felt severe pain in their souls just by looking at it. What kind of sword is this? What a terrifying sword. Han Xian's world of rules is so powerful. I feel like I can't stop her sword. I can't stop it. Even if I use the God of War gun, I may not be able to stop it. They looked horrified, and just by looking at it, they felt that their world of rules was about to crack. The sword saint smiled bitterly and said, according to Mo Han, this sword of hers is called the Sword of Destruction. The world-destroying sword, a sword that can destroy even the world. Not just a name, it can really destroy the world. At least the holy world of rules cannot withstand a sword. Destroy the world with one sword. Lin Mohan pointed with his hand, How Nua How, and the world-destroying sword suddenly fell, the laws collapsed, and the starry sky shattered. The demon lord felt threatened, and he roared to summon the world of rules. Demonic fire erupted from the regular world, and at the same time a terrifying demon was revealed. The demon spread its huge wings, and a giant fist roared with flames and rushed towards the world-destroying sword. The terrifying aura made the God of War's fortress retreat, and several saints were horrified. This is not the world of rules of the demon lord, but the world of rules of this supreme corpse. Not only have the corpses been preserved, but the world of rules has also been preserved. This is terrible. The demon's punch collided with the world-destroying sword, and a huge force erupted. A nearby galaxy collapsed on the spot, and the God of War's fortress flew backwards like an uncontrolled ball. There are dense cracks in the fortress, and the combat power of the Supreme Realm is too overwhelming. Lin Mohan also flew upside down in the collision, and the world-destroying sword was blown away by the demon lord's sword. You all have to die. You all have to die. The demon lord roared, his voice extremely angry, and his intention boiled in the starry sky. Lin Mohan was blown millions of miles away. The demon lord roared angrily, You all must die. The demon in the rules world rushed out and rushed towards Lin Mohan. Lin Mohan snorted coldly, stretched out his hand, and held it in the air. Here comes the sword. The world-destroying sword suddenly appeared in Lin Mohan's hand. At this moment, the heaven and earth roared, and countless world-destroying swords seemed to appear in the starry sky. The world-destroying sword fell into her hand, and the starry sky around her collapsed in an instant. Terrifying aftermath rippled again, several galaxies within a light-year radius collapsed, and countless demons died on the spot. The God of War fortress was blown away again, like floating leaves in the sea, out of control at all. It was the first time for the saints to taste such a taste. They became bystanders and could not intervene at all. The sword in the hand of the swordmaster kept roaring, and the tip of the sword pointed at Lin Mohan uncontrollably, as if he wanted to worship her. At this moment, Lin Mohan became the lord of 10,000 swords, and all the sharp swords in the world must obey her orders. The sword saint swallowed hard. She has taken control of her own world of rules. Tian Xingzuan couldn't believe it. How did she do it? How is this possible? Although the world of rules belongs to the Holy Lord and can be manipulated freely, I have never heard of someone who can hold the world of rules in his hands. Even if the world of rules is in the form of a weapon, at most it can only control the world of rules to attack and kill, and it is impossible to hold the world of rules in your hands. That's a 137 worlds. Holding a world in your hands is beyond the scope of the Holy Lord's abilities. But Lin Mohan did it. Lin Mohan was also more powerful than the Holy Lord. At that time, she said that when she became a saint, she could kill the Supreme Saint with a sword in half a step. At that time, some people thought she was talking big words, but now it seems that she was not talking big words at all, and was more conservative. The war saint said, "I take back what I said before. Even with the god of war spear, I can't stop her sword." Saint Hao sighed, "My younger brother is already perverted enough, but now I see that this older sister is no worse than my younger brother. The whole family is a pervert." Several saints deeply agreed and reached a consensus. The world-destroying sword lit up with a buzzing sound, causing ripples in the space. The demon lord who had just rushed over was knocked away with a bang. The world-destroying sword, which was originally a bit illusory, began to become real in Lin Mohan's hands. Lin Mohan shouted, "Sword of heaven and earth, come out." With a sword cry, the heaven and earth sword flew out from behind Lin Mohan and completely merged with the world-destroying sword. The world-destroying sword completely solidified and turned into a real sword, a sword that could destroy the world. Destroy the world with one sword. Lin Mohan swung his sword again, and a large area of stars was collapsing, terrifying energy swept out, and distant galaxies exploded. This sword affected hundreds of light years, dozens of galaxies, and countless demons were annihilated in this sword. If there is a world pointed at by the sword tip, it should be cut open. The demon lord roared again and again, and he wanted to avoid it, but suddenly he found that the demon's 1,000 corpses had become difficult to control. What's going on? What happened? The demon lord didn't know that it was Xiao Wu who weakened his luck, and he began to be unlucky. The sword light was coming, and it was impossible to avoid it. The 10 demon chefs were holding it hard. He punched out with demonic fire and collided with the world-destroying sword. Amidst the screams, the demon flew out upside down, and countless cracks appeared in the world of rules. This sword severely damaged his world of rules. Lin Mohan snorted coldly, transformed into a long sword, and caught up with him, holding the sword in both hands and slashing straight down. One sword divides the sea. The sound of waves suddenly sounded in the starry sky, as if a vast ocean appeared, shrouding the demon star field in its surroundings. When the sword fell, Wanyang was split into 2, and all the creatures inside were chopped open. Lin Moyu, who was far away, trembled slightly, the breath of the boundary sea. Lin Mohan's sword divided not an ordinary sea, but a boundary sea. A sword that divides the sea is stronger than a sword that destroys the world. The demon lord roared crazily, the mummy swelled violently, and flames rushed out of the body and merged into the world of rules. At this moment, the demon lord's rule world and the mummy's rule world merge into one, and their experience reaches its limit. Suddenly the demon lord let out a scream, and the originally well-integrated world of rules suddenly split apart. He was unlucky again. Being unlucky at the critical moment could lead to death. Xiao Wu's eyes turned into moonbuds. "I told you, you were going to be in bad luck." The sword was approaching, but the demon lord had a problem at this moment. At the last moment, he controlled the mummy to rush out, and rushed towards the world-destroying sword. The mummy exploded with a bang, and the demon lord flew back at the last moment and escaped quickly. The mummy exploded, as if the world was destroyed, and the starry sky was blown to pieces. All the laws and regulations were annihilated at this moment. Lin Mohan groaned and was knocked away on the spot. After all, this is the body of the Supreme Realm, and its self-explosion is extremely powerful. The world-destroying sword in his hand automatically protected the master and was instantly placed, allowing Lin Mohan to block most of the attacks. Several saints looked at each other in shock. If it were them, they would definitely die in this explosion. Lin Mohan's face was pale and blood was bleeding from the corner of his mouth. He was obviously injured. But his breathing was relatively stable and his injuries were not too serious. However, she has also exhausted her strength and has no strength to fight anymore. The demon lord escaped quickly and was not affected, revealing his figure hundreds of millions of miles away from the starry sky. Although the mummy has been lost, he still maintains his full battle record. Lin Mohan has lost the ability to fight again. The demon lord roared crazily, "You all must die." He came over again with anger and hatred, and the powerful aura of the half-step supreme was unmistakable. The world of rules appeared behind him, and the devil's fire surged. Several saints from the human race sacrificed their magic weapons at the same time and prepared to fight. At this moment, Maverick's ears suddenly twitched, and the containment talisman formation came out of his mouth. A man in black walked out of the containment talisman formation. The man in black had the aura of the other side. He was once the other side of the world of black blood during his lifetime, and now he has become the resurrected Lin Moyu. In his hand, he held a bleeding eyeball, the eye of blood. The resurrected person drags the bloody eyes and cooks the devil. His aura quickly withered, and all the power was poured into the eye of blood, including his life. The bloody eye bloomed with blood, and an unspeakable evil aura suddenly appeared in the starry sky. A drop of blood suddenly appeared on the top of the demon lord's head. The blood was as big as a star and fell on the demon's body with perfect accuracy. The eye of blood and the resurrection turned into smoke and dust at the same time and completely dissipated. The risen ones sacrificed themselves, and the eyes of blood are also disposable items. After they are used up, they will return to dust and return to dust. Screams rang out, and the demon lord was surrounded by blood. Its power was rapidly dissolving, and its body and soul were turned into blood. The world of rules collapsed quickly, and everyone knew that the demon lord was finished. Seeing this scene, Saint Hao sighed. The Eye of Blood was originally intended to be used by the Black Blood realm to deal with Old Xing unexpectedly. It is now being used to deal with the Demon Lord. Tianqing Zun said, "The Demon Lord is actually the spirit of the Demon Ancestor Altar." Back then, Xiao Zhanchen entered the Demon Clan and severely injured the Demon Clan leader at that time. Before his death, the Demon Patriarch threw his soul into the Demon Ancestor Altar and gave birth to the Demon Lord. The Demon Lord has a long lifespan. He has been controlling the Demon Clan for so many years. Saint Hao said, "Now that the Demon Lord is dead, the Demon Clan is completely finished." Xingzu and Fu looked relaxed. Fortunately, Master Lin was very thoughtful and even prepared the Eye of Blood. The Sword Master said, "Although Lin Xiaoyou's calculations are accurate, without Mo Han's heaven-defying combat power, this plan would not be possible." Zhang Xingzuan laughed loudly. "You are right, Fairy Han's combat power is indeed unparalleled, ranking third in the human race. This kind of thing has never been seen before, and it is the first of its kind in history." Saint Killer relaxed his whole body and put away the dagger with a smile. Okay. Our mission is completed. Let's watch Xiaoyu Lin's performance next. According to the prior plan, Lin Moyu will handle the rest by himself, so they don't need to worry. They can even go home now and let Lin Moyu play alone. The Demon Lord is dead, the saint is far away from the territory, and the fate of the Demon Clan is doomed. The Hell of Bones passed through one galaxy after another, the demons died, and the galaxies were packed away. Lin Moyu is familiar with the road and moves faster and faster. Just 2 months later, 1/3 of the galaxy has disappeared, and countless demons have died. The skeleton hell was finally full and reached its godlord limit. A mist with a diameter of 10 billion kilometers floats in the starry sky, with evil spirits roaring inside and the fire of hell boiling continuously. I'm finally getting promoted. The Bone Hell finally stepped into the promotion stage and began to sublimate. In the soul world, the white star belonging to the skeleton hell's key spell began to shine brightly, getting brighter and brighter, quickly surpassing the other spell stars. At this moment, he was on the brightest star, the most dazzling among the magic stars. Infinite fusion seemed a little uncomfortable, and it buzzed, which seemed to be a warning. The light from the Bone Hell suddenly shrank by 3 points, not daring to compete with it. Lin Moyu saw it and couldn't help laughing. This guy is really obedient. The World Tree sends a massive amount of soul power to provide support for the promotion of the skeleton hell. This promotion is different from the past. It is a leap of great realm, and it is a transformation for the skeleton hell. Lin Moyu doesn't know what it will eventually become. The roar of the hell spirits became more and more fierce. They jumped into the river of hellfire and bathed in the flames. The flames turned into armor, turning the hell spirits into terrifying warriors. Deep in the bone hell, the portal to the real hell appears again. There is a gap in the door of hell, and the power of hell is pouring out continuously, pouring into the hell of bones. Squeak! The sound of friction piercing the soul sounded, the gap in the opening of the portal became larger, the power flowing out also increased sharply, and the roar of the evil spirit of hell became more intense. Thousands of light years away, several holy lords who were drinking tea and chatting in the God of War's fortress shivered at the same time. Tianxing said, "What happened? Did you hear anything?" Saint Hao whispered, "I heard it. It seemed like some kind of giant beast was roaring. It was very harsh and went straight into the soul." The Sword Saint looked towards where Lin Moyu was. "What happened there, little friend?" Saint Killer was the calmest at this time. "Don't be nervous, it must be that Lin's bone hell has been promoted. That technique, TSK, it's really scary." Several saints were convinced that several of Lin Moyu's spells were quite terrifying. Whether it's Corpse Explosion, Undead Army, or Bone Hell, they are all top teams. This kind of technique had never been heard of before Lin Moyu. Fu Xingzuan glanced at Lin Mohan, who was meditating and adjusting his breath, and Xiao Wu, who was playing with the calf next to Lin Mohan. "Don't worry," neither Fairy Han nor Xiao Wu responded, which means Master Lin is safe. Just as Fu Xingzuan said, if something happens to Lin Moyu, the first ones to react will be Lin Mohan and the others. The power within the gate of hell continues to flow out, merging with the power of the skeleton hell. Lin Moyu keenly sensed that the power from hell belonged to the power of void, and came from the same source as the power of the bone hell itself. There was a movement in his heart, and the history of immortal rules was injected into the hell of bones. The rules of immortality belong to the real power, which is integrated with the virtual power of hell. Under the combination of reality and reality, the bone hell is accompanied by a soft sound, just like an egg breaking its shell. The bone hell breaks the bottleneck and breaks through the shell to transform. At the moment of transformation from the bone hell, the magic white star also absorbed enough soul power and exploded. A dark hole emerged from the center of the explosion, and Lin Moyu's attention was attracted. On the other side of the cave, Lin Moyu saw the Great World Rune again. This is the territory belonging to the runes of the Big World. Complex and exquisite runes float in the void, and 100 runes representing laws evolved from it. The injury on the Great World Rune seems to be a little more serious. After many years, Lin Moyu saw the Great World Rune again, and found that the injury of the Great World Rune was a little more serious than before. Then he saw a mist wrapping around the Great World Rune, as if it was being repaired. Lin Moyu only glanced at it and recognized it. This was the power of Huan Wu Tianzuan. At that time, Huan Wu Tianzuan said he wanted to do something, and this is what he wanted to do. Use up the last strength of the remnant soul to delay the collapse of the runes of the Big World as much as possible. In fact, the effect of doing so is minimal and meaningless. Maybe it's just for the guilt in my heart. Lin Moyu's eyes passed over the Big World runes, and this time he saw more. At the other end of the Big World rune, coffins are floating, forming a cemetery. There are supreme beings in the coffins, and the supreme beings who died in battle will return here. The Supreme Rule World contains the origin history of the Great World. After their death, the world of rules collapses, and the original power will return to the world, and a large part of it will return here. At the same time, the runes of the Big World will lead the Supreme here, forming the Supreme Cemetery. As for why the Supreme Cemetery was formed, no one knows. For people like the 100 Battles Supreme, even though his body dies, the world of rules is still intact, and the original power has not returned. He will not be led by the runes of the Big World and cannot come here to rest. The worst result is that those heavenly sovereigns who have left the great world take away the original power that belongs to the great world, making the great world even weaker. Lin Moyu saw the Supreme Cemetery and continued to explore forward. After the Supreme Cemetery, he saw dozens of huge tombs. The tomb exuded an astonishing aura. Just one glance at it made Lin Moyu's heart tremble and his consciousness was shaken away. The soul opened its eyes with unspeakable shock. This is Wei Zun's grave. After the Supreme Cemetery, there is the tomb of Tianzuan. He murmured to himself, that's right, the Supreme Lord will return, even the Heavenly Lord will return after his death. The big world has gone through countless years, and Tianzuan's lifespan in the big world is 500,000 years. In so many years, many Tianzuan must have died. The Tianzuan has more original power, and the big world gives them better treatment. Tombs are built for them. Lin Moyu seemed to have understood something and gained something, but it seemed like nothing. The scattered fragments may be combined one day and finally integrated. Lin Moyu is not in a hurry, but focuses on the magic stars. The white star of the bone hell technique disappeared and turned into a gray star. The light of the gray magic stars is not strong, and it is completely incomparable with the dazzling light before. But Lin Moyu knew that it had become extremely powerful, and the soul space around it was distorted, and the soul had the illusion of being distorted at a glance. Neutron star. Lin Moyu softly uttered 3 words. This feeling was very similar to the neutron battle star in the ruins at his fingertips. Perhaps it's because of the relationship between magic stars and neutron battle stars, which are gentler than neutron battle stars, but the essence is the same. Lin Moyu can feel its thickness, which is far superior to other magic stars. The soul communicates with the stars to obtain specific information. Skeleton hell, neutron stars turn the designated area into a bone hell. The bone hell is connected to the real hell. All enemies in it will be attacked by the power of hell. Terrifying evil spirits from the real hell will be born in the bone hell. The true spirits of all people who die in the bone hell will be absorbed by the evil spirits. The more power it absorbs, the stronger the evil spirit becomes, and its number will increase accordingly. As long as the real hell is not destroyed, the bone hell will never be destroyed, and even if it is shattered, it will be restored after a certain period of time. As the owner of the Hell of Bones, you will be protected by hell at all times. The Hell of Bones will mark all attackers. Once marked, they cannot break away from your soul lock. Wide. The promotion of magic from white star to neutron star is of great significance. It pointed out the path for Lin Moyu. The path to advancement in magic is from planets, stars, white stars, neutrons, and even black holes. Lin Moyu wants to use the big world as a prototype to build his own rule world, so naturally he needs to fully understand the promotion system in the big world. It was just a guess before, but now it is completely certain. Lin Moyu has a clear idea of his own rules world. After the consciousness is separated from the soul world, after the magic is promoted, you still have to see the real changes. When he opened his eyes, he found that he was in the Hell of Bones. As far as the eye can see, there is no border at all. So big? Lin Moyu was really shocked. The skeleton hell became too big after its promotion, and its range directly changed from tens of billions of kilometers to trillions of kilometers. 1 trillion kilometers, equivalent to 0.1 light year. A spell can cover 0.1 light years, which has exceeded the limit of the Holy Lord. At least among the 043 saints that Lin Moyu knows, there is no saint whose magic can cover 0.1 light years. The battle between the saints indeed spread over a wide area, covering tens to tens of billions of kilometers. However, the scope of the bone hell reaches an astonishing trillions of kilometers, which is too terrifying. Trillions of kilometers, it can cover several galaxies at the same time, and the efficiency will be greatly accelerated. There was a roar from the skeleton hell, and a river of hellfire comparable to the vast ocean ran through the skeleton hell, rippling in the starry sky like a long river in the starry sky. Its momentum is not weaker than the Law Galaxy. The flowers on both sides of the river are blooming more beautifully, with a hint of death in their beauty. Countless evil spirits from hell are sinking and floating in the river of hellfire, bathed in flames. There are more evil spirits from hell scattered everywhere, and they are also bathed in firelight, which comes from above their heads. In the sky above the skeleton hell, 10 groups of flames appeared, like 10 stars, burning fiercely and spreading endless flames. The number of evil spirits in hell has increased sharply like its scope, from hundreds of millions to tens of billions. The tens of billions of evil spirits from hell in the other side realm are enough to make half-step supreme despair. Lin Moyu finished reviewing and glanced into the distance. Go ahead and eat as much as you like. The bone hell flew out at an astonishing speed, traveling directly through space and covering a galaxy. Just 1 minute later, it left the galaxy. All the demons in the galaxy had been eaten, leaving no chickens or dogs behind. The bone hell follows Lin Moyu's instructions and keeps wandering in the Devil's Star field, turning each galaxy into an uninhabited area. The vitality in the star field is rapidly decreasing, and the number of demons is decreasing sharply. As the news spread, Demon Shin began to run for his life. They encountered the undead army guarding outside and were killed by the skeleton god general. Even the demons from the other shore realm can't stop the siege from neighboring dynasties and others. Facing Lin Moyu, they didn't even have a chance to escape. The existence of the demon clan entered the countdown. Lin Moyu slowly followed behind the skeleton hell and used the containment talisman array to pack up all the planet's resources. The saints in the distance looked at each other in confusion. At some point, they rushed over with curiosity and saw the hell of bones. Tian Xingzuan exclaimed, "I feel that Xiao Yu Lin can challenge all of us." Saint Hao laughed and said, "That's right. Even if we are enveloped by Lin Xiaoyou's magic, we probably won't be able to escape." Tian Xingzuan nodded, "Even the Demon Lord may have a hard time escaping." Fu Xingzuan said, "Someone once said that when Master Lin reaches the other side, it will be a nightmare for all races. Now it seems that this is not wrong." The War Saint said, "Next we have to deal with the Golden Eagle clan. Maybe we just need to watch the show." The Saint of Killing made a sound. "Aren't you watching a show this time? Have you ever done anything?" Come to think of it, they didn't do anything this time, they just watched the show all the way. The Demon Lord was defeated by Lin Mohan, and the Demon Clan was destroyed by Lin Moyu. The two siblings directly destroyed a powerful clan. If Lin Moyu was promoted to the other side realm earlier, there might be no need to fight the war among the hundreds of tribes, and Lin Moyu's people would be able to defeat the hundreds of tribes. 4 months later, the Demon Clan star field was almost empty. Tens of thousands of galaxies were taken away by Lin Moyu using tens of thousands of containment talisman arrays. These planets are all resources. If they are returned to the human star field for transformation, it will not take long for them to become human planets. By then, the human race will have more resources, more luck, and will be able to cultivate more talents. Today, the Demon Clan only has its ancestral land in the core area left. This place is shrouded in demonic fire, like a fireball, burning for countless years without being extinguished. Lin Moyu and Lin Mohan stood side by side. At this time, Lin Mohan had finished adjusting her breath and returned to her peak. Lin Moyu said, "The original power is inside." Lin Mohan nodded, "This source of power belongs to me." Lin Moyu smiled slightly, "As long as sister likes it, if you want me to do it for you, please do it for me." Lin Mohan shook his head, "No need, I'll get it myself." Lin Moyu can clearly feel that there is an origin of history in the devil's ancestral land. At the earliest time, this original power appeared in the Abyss Dragon Demon. At that time, the Abyss Demon Lord lent the original power to the Abyss Dragon Demon. At first I thought that the Demon Lord of the Abyss was the master of the original power, but later I found out that the Demon Lord of the Abyss also borrowed his power from the Demon Lord, and he was just a second-level dealer. Now that the Demon Lord has been killed, the original power returned to the demon group at the moment the Demon Lord died. Only then did Lin Moyu see clearly that even the Demon Lord was just a second-rate dealer. Lin Mohan rushed towards the devil's ancestral land. A dragon's roar sounded from Lin Moyu's body, and the explosive luck technique was activated. Lin Moyu checked his elder sister's luck. He wanted to increase Lin Mohan's luck to the limit. With good luck, everything will go smoothly. Then Lin Moyu saw a flash of golden light and countless golden dragons. Lin Mohan's body was wrapped with golden dragons. There were no numerical values, only golden dragons. Lin Moyu was stunned. The golden dragon surrounds me, and I am extremely lucky. My dear, is my luck so strong? You have to use the explosive luck technique to turn your luck into a dragon. But Lin Mohan didn't have to do anything, and already he was surrounded by golden dragons, reaching the extreme level of luck. In this state, Lin Mohan can turn danger into good luck whenever he encounters it, and no matter what he does, all his wishes can come true. It is almost certain that she wants the original power. Anyone who is her enemy will be suppressed by her luck and become unlucky. Looking at Lin Mohan's golden dragon, and then at his own looming dragon of luck, Lin Moyu smiled bitterly and said, I am indeed an elder sister. She is really suppressed by blood. With that said, he followed Lin Mohan's footsteps and entered the demon ancestral land. The power of rules wrapped around the body, and the flames rushed in. Lin Mohan disappeared into the sea of fire, and she went to find the source of power. Lin Mohan advanced in the flames and headed towards the demon ancestor altar. The demon flame transformed into countless illusory demons, all of which were blocked by a layer of vague mist. There was no way to stop him. Lin Moyu takes a leisurely stroll here and feels like going home. Demon 1.4 The ancestral land is full of demon fire. This is the birthplace of the demon clan, and the demon flame is the fundamental power of the demon clan. Without the demon flame, the foundation of the demon clan will be broken, and those saints who escaped will not be able to go anywhere. Looking at the devil's ancestral land, Lin Moyu knew that he knew the truth and destiny, so he could see everything clearly. The demon lord cannot see the changes in reality and reality, so he cannot understand. If you really want to keep the foundation of the demon clan, it is not the saints who need to be sent out, but the demon group. What he is doing now is destined to be in vain. The demon clan is finished. Lin Moyu stepped onto the demon ancestor altar, and flames burst out from the demon ancestor altar. Lin Moyu was not welcome. You still want to resist a mere dead thing? Lin Moyu raised his foot and stepped on it. Amidst the roar, the demon ancestor altar shook and collapsed without any cracks on the spot. A strange breath rushed out from the crack. Lin Moyu frowned. It's just two. The demon ancestral land is called the breeding ground by the demon clan, and it contains many mysteries. Once upon a time when the demon clan was at its peak, only the supreme was qualified to come here. At that time, the demon clan gave birth to a heavenly lord. Although that heavenly lord did not live very long, at least he lived there and was the pride of the demon clan. After the ancient war, the demon clan also declined, the supreme no longer existed, and the ultimate goal was to step up to the supreme. Now, the demon clan has reached the point of destruction. But I have to admit that the demon clan still has some background. The demon ancestor altar was crushed by Lin Moyu's kick, and Lin Moyu was also a little strange. After all, this is the demon ancestor altar. How could it crack so easily? It wasn't until he saw the scene under the crack that he finally understood why. With another reborn foot, the demon ancestor altar collapsed, and the situation under the altar was completely revealed. Under the demon ancestor forbidden altar, there is a palace. The palace does not look big, but Lin Moyu can feel the power of space, which means that the palace is in another dimension, and the actual size is much larger than that. The palace is burning, constantly absorbing the flames in the ancestral land, and at the same time releasing the flames. 17 The demon ancestor altar is just the appearance, and the palace is the core. Lin Moyu looked at the palace, and he felt an unusual aura from the palace. The smell was a bit familiar, as if I had seen it somewhere. Taking one step forward, the picture in front of him was distorted, and he had entered the space belonging to the palace. Demon Ancestor Hall? Lin Moyu looked at the three big characters in front of the palace, the devil's characters. He had studied them before, so he could get them. The palace is called the Demon Ancestor Palace. From the name of the palace, it can be analyzed that this is the palace belonging to the demon ancestor. The palace exudes the atmosphere of time and has existed for countless years. Lin Moyu was very cautious and did not go in directly, but looked at the palace. The demon ancestor is most likely the former heavenly lord of the demon clan. If it is really the palace of the heavenly lord, there is nothing wrong with being cautious. A skeleton god general appeared and ran over, directly into the palace. The moment the skeleton god ran into the demon ancestor palace, demonless destruction spread out from the palace. The skeleton god flew back upside down, his whole body bathed in fire, and less than half of it was burned. The legion ruler appeared, treated the skeleton god general, and quickly extinguished the flames. The demon ancestor palace seemed to be activated, roaring continuously and spitting out flames. The independent space was shattered on the spot, and the demon ancestral palace appeared in the ancestral land. It rolled up the sky with flames and enveloped itself. A demonic figure appeared above the palace, roaring towards Lin Moyu. Demon Ancestor Palace, you and others are not allowed to enter, retreat. Lin Moyu sneered, it's a bluff, the demon clan has been wiped out, and a small palace spirit dares to scream. The bone hell emerged and instantly enveloped the demon ancestor palace. Countless evil spirits from hell rushed out and headed towards the demon. The demon phantom roared repeatedly, but it had no effect. In the blink of an eye, it was torn to pieces by the evil spirits of hell. The skeleton hell has isolated the demon ancestral palace from the outside world. The demon ancestral palace cannot absorb any demonic fire. Without the demonic fire, the demonic ancestral palace will lose its source of power. Lin Moyu has seen clearly that the demon ancestral palace itself is not very strong, and all its history comes from the destruction of demons. As long as the demonic fire is cut off, it counts for nothing. The evil spirits in hell eat everything, and the weapon spirits are not immune either. The skeleton hell completely surrounded the demon ancestral hall, the flames of the demon ancestral hall were extinguished, and Lin Moyu walked in with confidence. The demon ancestor palace is very empty, and its layout is different from the human palace. In the center of the demon ancestor hall, there is a statue of a six-winged demon. If a statue can be erected in the demon ancestor hall, it goes without saying that he is the demon ancestor. Apart from the statues, there is nothing else in the palace. This palace is actually a magic weapon of the supreme realm. Unfortunately, after countless years of erosion, it has become extremely weak and has become nothing more than its appearance. Lin Moyu looked at the statue of the demon ancestor. The demon clan gave birth to a heavenly lord. Unfortunately, this heavenly lord's life was too short, and even the demon ancestor palace could not be properly refined and transformed. If it can be transformed into a magic weapon of the Tianzuan level, the demon ancestor palace will also become a great killer weapon. This statue is quite nice, but what a pity. Lin Moyu punched out, the statue shook and numerous cracks appeared. After several more punches, the statue exploded. The statue of demon ancestor was destroyed, and several crystals fell out from it. The crystal has a hazy color, looks crystal clear, and exudes a casual atmosphere. It's really a heavenly spirit crystal, and it's a very high-level heavenly spirit crystal. Lin Moyu felt carefully and felt that these pieces of Tianling crystal were extraordinary, at least at the supreme level, or even higher. Why is there a heavenly spirit crystal inside the demon ancestor statue? What is the relationship between the demon ancestor and the Starry Sky Spirit clan? The Starry Sky Spirit clan is a race created by the human celestial clan and has nothing to do with the demon clan. But now, why is this happening? Lin Moyu put away the Tianling crystal and planned to find an opportunity to ask Lillian. I don't know where this woman has gone now. In all likelihood, she is hiding and practicing without knowing what is happening outside. As long as the Starry Sky Spirit Clan has enough heavenly spirit crystals, they can practice very quickly, and they don't know what state they have reached. After strolling around the hall to make sure there was nothing missing, he then walked towards the interior of the palace. The Demon Ancestor Palace is very simple. There are no rooms. It is only divided into 2 floors, inner and outer. The outer layer is the main hall, because the first layer is obviously the place where the Demon Ancestor lives. There is a huge stone slab here, and there is a flame burning on the stone slab, and it is unknown how many years it has been burning. The material of this stone slab is special, it has obviously been refined, and there are enchantments painted on the stone slab. After all, the stone slab can be regarded as a magic weapon for viewing the other side. It's just that too much time has passed, and the stone slab cannot withstand the erosion of time, and the barrier has been destroyed. If I guess correctly, this stone slab is the Demon Ancestor's bed. Lin Moyu looked at the stone slab and raised his fist again. After 3 or 2 punches, the stone slab cracked, revealing a pothole. A strong aura hit his face, and there were a large number of heavenly spirit crystals hidden under the stone slab. The quality of the Tianling crystal is the same as that of the Demon Ancestor statue, which is very high. Lin Moyu put away all 357 Tianling crystals, glanced across them, and suddenly saw something. It was a palm-sized statue, and the image of the statue was that of a human race. Lin Moyu had seen similar statues and killed them several times in order to help Lillian pass the test. This small statue contains the inheritance of the Starry Sky Spirit Clan. The inheritance of the Tianling clan. What is the relationship between the Demon Ancestor and the Star Sky Spirit Clan? Things seem to be getting more and more psychedelic, and the Demon Ancestor is actually related to the Starry Sky Spirit Clan. Lin Moyu's eyes were filled with thoughts. There were many powerful clans comparable to the Demon Clan back then. However, only the Demon Clan gave birth to Tianzuan. I didn't think it was strange before, but now that I think about it, I am a little confused. Logically speaking, the world belonging to the Demon Clan has been swallowed up by the big world. Without the support of the origin of the world, it should be impossible to give birth to a deity. It is unusual for the Demon Clan to have a heavenly lord, and it should be related to the Starry Sky Celestial Clan. After putting away the inheritance statue, Lin Moyu left the Demon Ancestral Hall. The evil spirits from hell swarmed up and ate up the Demon Ancestral Hall without leaving even a particle of dust behind. The flames in the Demon Ancestral Land were still burning. Lin Moyu sensed the direction of the source of reality and walked slowly. After walking for a while, he saw Lin Mohan. Lin Mohan sat cross-legged in the void. The world-destroying sword appeared behind him, with purple brilliance flowing on the gray sword. She has found the source of power and is absorbing it. The heaven and earth swords circled around Lin Mohan, protecting her. Lin Moyu didn't bother him and waited quietly. The purple light of the world-destroying sword circulated, and Lin Moyu felt that this original power was somewhat different from his own original magic. It is somewhat similar to the original fire given by the mysterious master. The original magic came from the small world, and after many tests, the original magic was finally obtained. After entering the big world, the origin law has given me great help. It can be said that without the original magic, it would be difficult for me to get where I am today. The original fire is just a fusion of one of the spells. Although it is also very strong, it is generally not as good as the original spell. The original power that Lin Mohan has absorbed now is somewhat similar to the original fire. It can increase his own combat power, but it cannot become an independent spell. The Abyss Demon Lord and the Demon Lord have used this original power several times to increase their combat power, but they have not independently formed spells. In Lin Moyu's eyes, this original power is somewhat similar to the Water of Colors. It's just that the colorful water will be exhausted, but the original power will not be exhausted and can be used repeatedly. The world-destroying sword absorbs the original power and becomes stronger and stronger. Even Lin Mohan's aura is getting stronger. The world of rules is the core of the Holy Lord, and its importance is no less than that of the soul. When the soul dies, the body dies. If the world of rules is destroyed, the body will die as well. In the same way, as the world of rules becomes stronger, it also enhances the realm. The power of the origin strengthens the world-destroying sword, and at the same time improves Lin Mohan's realm. Lin Mohan was already a saint, and now she was heading towards the half-step supreme. No wonder I want this source of power. It turns out that I want to use this level to take a half-step to the supreme level. If this source of power is given to oneself, it will at most be like the resurrection of the dead, increasing the power by one spell. But if you give it to Lin Mohan, you can directly increase the rules of the world, and your realm can also be improved. Lin Mohan is surrounded by golden dragons and has incredible luck. Whatever he wants to do, most things can come true. Lin Moyu knew that his elder sister would definitely succeed, and a half-step supreme would soon appear in the human race. Especially this half-step supreme, whose combat power is incredible, he may be able to fight with the supreme. Outside the demon ancestral land, the god of war's fortress hovers quietly in the starry sky. They are waiting for Lin Moyu and Lin Mohan. Suddenly, a majestic aura rushed out from the demon ancestral land, and there seemed to be a low roar in the starry sky. At the same time, a shadow of a giant sword appeared in the starry sky, and the projection of the world-destroying sword emerged from the starry sky. Snap! The teacups in their hands fell one after another, and several saints stood up at the same time, looking at the demon ancestral land in disbelief. It's a half-step supreme. Fairy Han is going to be promoted to the half-step supreme. Okay, Fairy Han has been promoted to half-step supreme, and my human race has gained another top level of combat experience. You are wrong. Fairy Han will become the top combat power of our human race. Yes, I was wrong. Several saints were so excited that they were a little incoherent. Lin Mohan defeated the Supreme when he was a saint, and now that he has reached the half-step Supreme level, he is afraid that he will be able to fight against the real Supreme. This kind of combat power has surpassed Xing Lao and Human Emperor, and is invincible in this era. The breath of half-step Supreme was transmitted from the deep air and spread far away. In the human Lost RC, the Human Emperor revealed his figure. Someone has been promoted to the half-step Supreme. Xing Lao raised his eyes slightly. Do you know who it is? The Human Emperor said, if the induction is correct, it should be Lin Mohan. Xing Lao didn't react much. His eyes showed a look of thinking. After a moment, Xing Lao just said, the territory is about to be calmed down, and next we have to prepare to welcome the Dojie. It's time to tell them those things. The Human Emperor said, it's time to say that although the divine road is difficult to repair, at least there is hope. Xing Lao chuckled, Dojie is a danger, but it is also a hope. Maybe there is an opportunity for you and me. The world-destroying sword kept roaring in the starry sky. The terrifying sword intent tore through the space and cut large holes in the starry sky. Countless sword energies are spreading out wantonly, and each sword energy is enough to destroy the stars. The God of War fortress had to retreat hundreds of millions of miles to avoid accidental damage. The whole process lasted for several months. The world-destroying sword finally disappeared and the starry sky finally calmed down. In the demon ancestral land, Lin Mohan's world-destroying sword had an extra purple line. The purple line starts from the hilt and runs through the sword body, adding a touch of nobility to the world-destroying sword. With the blessing of the original power, the power of the world-destroying sword will be increased at least several times. Lin Mohan, who had successfully been promoted to half-step supreme, was far more powerful than before. Congratulations, sister, for being promoted to half-step supreme. Lin Moyu flattered her naturally. Lin Mohan exhaled, it's not difficult to become a half-step to the supreme level, but it's the supreme level that's difficult. Lin Moyu said, the divine road is broken and cannot be repaired. There is no hope for the supreme. Lin Mohan said, after I was promoted to the half-step supreme, my inherited bloodline was awakened a little more. In fact, if I want to be promoted to the Supreme, there are other ways besides the divine way, but it is difficult. Lin Moyu said, when I met the mysterious master, he told me that there is indeed another way to advance to the Supreme. I remember that I seemed to have told my sister. There is indeed more than one way to be promoted to the Supreme. In addition to the divine way, there is another way. But Lin Moyu will not take that road. That is a road of no return. If you use that method to advance to Supreme, you will say goodbye to the world completely. That is not the path Lin Moyu wants to take. Lin Mohan shook his head. No, I'm talking about the third way. Lin Moyu was startled and blurted out, the third way? Lin Mohan nodded solemnly. By advancing to the Supreme through this path, you will not leave the big world. You will still be the Supreme in the big world, but this road is difficult. At this point, she glanced at Lin Moyu and said, this road is only suitable for me, you can't walk on it. Lin Moyu asked, is it dangerous? Lin Mohan said, it's said to be very difficult. How can it not be dangerous? So what if it's dangerous? Have you ever been afraid? Lin Moyu couldn't help but laugh. With her elder sister's character, she is indeed not afraid of danger. Lin Mohan is very special. In addition to being her sister, she may also be the reincarnation of an ancient power. Even if he is not a reincarnated body, he at least has the inheritance of ancient power. Therefore, Lin Mohan's path is different from others, and also different from his own. Let's go, it's time to go out. Lin Mohan waved his hand and waved a sword light. A huge crack was torn in the sky, directly opening up to the demon ancestral land. After becoming a half-step Supreme, Lin Mohan's combat power has improved a lot, no ollie how. A place like the demon ancestral land cannot stop him at all. Lin Moyu smiled and said, sister, let's go first, I have refined this world. Move quickly. Well, soon. Lin Mohan turned into a sword light and left, and the world-burning fire jumped out of Lin Moyu's hand. The world-burning fire exploded and swept across the demon ancestral land in an instant. The demon ancestral land is also a small world, which contains the origin of the demon clan and can be refined with the fire of burning the world. The demon ancestral land boiled completely, and flames shot up into the sky to form ferocious demons. The origin of the demon race is making its final resistance. Lin Moyu's eyes were cold. It's useless to struggle to the death. The demon ancestral land could not stop the refining of the world-burning fire, and those illusory demons were completely shattered in the blink of an eye. The demon ancestral land is shrinking rapidly, and the flames inside are beginning to extinguish. Just 3 days later, the demon ancestral land was completely wiped from the starry sky. Lin Moyu appeared in the starry sky, eyes closed, sitting in the void. The breath of enlightenment fills the starry sky. Hell Demon Lord, Lava Demon Lord, Soul-Devouring Demon Lord. The 3 remaining saints of the demon clan are flying outside the territory with their teams. The 3 of them had long since separated and headed in different directions. They have no purpose and no idea where to find a new home. Every demon in the team is ready for endless wandering. Suddenly, the 3 saints stopped at the same time, their bodies trembling, their eyes showing fear and anger, as well as deep despair. The demon lord is dead, and the demon ancestral land is gone. Our race is finished. We have no hope. Pessimism filled every demon. With their ancestral land gone, they truly became homeless and pitiful ministers. The ancestral land is extremely important to a race. Even if the race that had its ancestral land destroyed by Xiao Zhantian was lucky enough to survive, it would be difficult for them to recover. And those races that survived in their ancestral land, no matter how much trauma they suffered, slowly recovered their strength. The ancestral land represents the destiny of the race and the origin of the race. Now that the ancestral land of the demon clan is gone, these surviving demons have also lost hope. With endless despair, they set off again, flying towards the deep space outside the territory. Lin Moyu exudes the aura of enlightenment. At the moment when the ancestral land was refined into the crystallization of the world, the rewards of the big world suddenly came, and Lin Moyu also took advantage of the situation to enter the state of enlightenment. In the state of enlightenment, the power of law is sublimated and turned into the power of rules. Lin 037 silently also carefully felt the difference between laws and rules. As the power of rules becomes stronger, this difference becomes more and more obvious. Laws and rules are not only different in strength and weakness, they are also very different in nature. Laws are to do things according to the power established by the big world, just like the tools provided by the big world. Rules are defined by your own practice. The power of rules has its own mark, and all power is under its own control. Within the scope of one's own rules, all other laws will be erased, and only one's own rules can exist. You can even use the power of rules to do things that go against common sense. For example, time rules can turn back time within a certain range and rejuvenate dead flowers. However, the time is limited. When the power of the rules dissipates, everything will return to its original state. The rules of space can force two planets together. It is not a collision, but an overlap in space. Under the power of rules, all kinds of magical things will happen. This aspect of power is not obvious when you first enter the other side realm. It will become prominent after you reach the Holy Lord and have your own rules world. In the world of the Holy Lord's rules, the rules are completely set by the Holy Lord. The power of the Holy Lord will be amplified, BHCB, and the external power will be greatly weakened. In short, the rules are very magical. Starting from the other shore realm and reaching the Heavenly Lord, you need to continuously improve the power of the rules. Learn it, master it, and make the most of it. The Demon Clan is a powerful clan, with great strength, and the karma with the big world is also very deep. This time it was eliminated, and the world was much easier. Lin Moyu took the lead and received the most rewards. The enlightenment lasted for 20 days before it ended, and a large number of laws were sublimated into the power of rules. Lin Moyu masters the 4 laws, which requires several times more time than other practitioners. Now Lin Moyu has sublimated nearly half of the power of the law, and has achieved enlightenment several times, saving him more than 100 years of time. As soon as Lin Moyu finished his enlightenment, Lin Mohan's cold voice came to his ears. "Didn't you say it was very fast?" Lin Moyu smiled slightly. It was a little unexpected. He didn't expect that the big world would suddenly give him a reward. He originally thought that he would get this reward after he killed all the demons. After all, the demon tribe still has 3 saints and hundreds of thousands of tribesmen fleeing outside, and not all of them are dead yet. Unexpectedly, as soon as the ancestral land was destroyed, Guanli would receive the money. Lin Mohan said, "It's okay now. One more thing, right now." As he spoke, Lin Moyu's body ignited with flames, and Lin Moyu's expression became extremely distorted, as if he was in great pain. The soul is burned by the fire of the world. It would be strange if it doesn't hurt. Fortunately, it didn't last long. The world-burning fire burned away the poison in 2 seconds. World Tree immediately followed up, and Lin Moyu healed the soul. Lin Moyu gasped, "Okay." Lin Mohan looked at him. "Be careful when playing with fire in the future." The tone seemed to be blaming, but it was more concerned. She knew what Lin Moyu was doing. The world-burning fire was very dangerous and would burn her to death if she didn't do it. Lin Moyu smiled and said, "It's okay, I'm an old player." Smiley face. Lin Mohan said angrily and ignored him. Lin Moyu rarely jokes with others and only becomes casual in front of a few people. Lin Mohan is one, and Antares is also one. The two returned to the God of War fortress. As soon as they landed, several saints saluted Lin Mohan at the same time. "I have seen Fairy Han." In the big world, status is determined by strength, and the same is true in the human race. Now Lin Mohan is half-step supreme, and her status is equal to that of Emperor Xinglao. It would not be an exaggeration to call these saints sir. Lin Mohan said, "Don't be so polite. I don't care about anything. I just kill people." Several saints also understand Lin Mohan's character. This eldest lady really doesn't care about things. She can fight and kill, but she seldom speaks in business matters. When it comes to managing things, Lin Moyu is more reliable. Lin Moyu smiled and said, "Seniors, don't be so polite. Now that the demon clan has been destroyed, we can proceed as planned." The war saint immediately responded, "Okay." The god of war fortress turned and flew towards the direction of the Golden Eagle clan. Lin Moyu threw all the 10,000 containment talisman arrays to Fuxingzuan, which contained 10,000 galaxies. Lin Moyu naturally didn't bother to take care of this kind of thing, he just acted as the hands-off shopkeeper. The demon clan star field became silent and dim, all the stars disappeared, and the originally lively star field turned into a dark starry sky. The once powerful demon clan was now reduced to ashes. The wheels of time rolled by mercilessly. Once upon a time, the human race was almost crushed to death. Fortunately, the human race slowed down and pushed the wheel away. The demon clan perished silently, and until the fortress of the god of war came to the doorstep of the Golden Eagle clan, the Golden Eagle clan had not received any news. The Golden Eagle clan, like the demon clan, keeps its doors closed and shrinks its defenses. Countless huge golden eagles were circling and flying in the star field. This is the formation of the Golden Eagle clan, which evolved into a golden eagle to protect the race. When the Ares fortress approached, the Golden Eagle noticed it immediately and kept screaming as a warning. The god of war bastion turned a blind eye and continued to rush towards the Golden Eagle clan. With tens of millions of kilometers left, the Golden Eagle rushed in like lightning, filling the starry sky with golden light, and launched a fierce attack on the God of War's fortress. The God of War's fortress burst into light with a buzzing sound, smashed the Golden Eagle like tofu, and then hit its head into the Golden Eagle clan star field. The God of War fortress rampaged all the way towards the core area of the Golden Eagle clan. The formations along the way couldn't stop it at all. Lin Moyu left the God of War fortress first, the gates of space continued to appear, and the undead army appeared in the Lord of the Starry Sky. Lin Moyu deployed the undead army along the Golden Eagle clan star field as quickly as possible and surrounded them. The method is exactly the same as when dealing with demons. The method is not new, it just works. The Hell of Bones came out in response, covering a large area of stars and directly swallowing 2 nearby galaxies. The disaster belonging to the Golden Eagle tribe has arrived. Chapter 2233, A Bunch of Holy-Level Cowardly Brats. The Golden Eagle clan was even worse than the Demon clan. In that battle, none of the 4 saints survived. The avatar of the Eagle Emperor took a large number of Golden Eagle tribesmen to the outside of the territory, and there was a great battle at the border area, resulting in numerous casualties. It can be said that the Golden Eagle clan is extremely empty now. All the other shore realms have gone, and there is not much left in the Divine Realm. The fortress of the God of War is like entering an uninhabited land, unstoppable. In just 10 days, the God of War fortress had already reached the hinterland of the Golden Eagle clan. In the core area of the Golden Eagle clan, you can see a purple gold eagle. The purple golden eagle is the ancestral land of the Golden Eagle tribe and is also the totem of the Golden Eagle tribe. The fortress of the God of War headed straight for the purple gold eagle, and the heavenly saint said, "It's time for the Eagle Emperor to come out." That's almost it. The Eagle Emperor is still a half-step supreme, and he can't just watch his own race perish. After all, they are also one of the powerful clans, and the Demon clan has a strong foundation. He also has some background, we should be careful. Even if he has some background, I'm afraid it won't help unless he can create a true supreme being. How could the Golden Eagle clan have a supreme being? If there really was a supreme being, the human race would have been wiped out long ago. After fighting each other for so many years, everyone knows who has the best brush. It was beyond expectation that the Demon Lord could control a supreme-level mummy. There should not be so many surprises here in the Golden Eagle clan. As the saints were talking, their colors suddenly changed and they looked forward. A terrible aura filled the starry sky, and a huge pressure pressed down on their heads, making their thoughts confused and very uncomfortable. A ray of white-gold light flew out from the ancestral land of the Golden Eagle clan, and bursts of dragon roars sounded in the starry sky. It was a divine dragon, with a body of more than 100,000 meters. The most peculiar thing was that his head turned out to be that of a golden eagle, and he also had a pair of huge eagle wings on his body. The appearance is weird, but the breath is really supreme. Tian Xingzuan smiled bitterly and said, "Crow Mouth, who said the last sentence just now?" It was indeed Crow Mouth. Just when he said there would be no supreme among the Golden Eagle clan, a supreme came out. Saint Hao whispered, "This is the Eagle Emperor. What did he do and why he became like this?" The War Saint followed, "It is indeed the Eagle Emperor. He turned himself into the Supreme, but it seems that it is not stable." The Eagle King opened his mouth and screamed, but what came out was a dragon's roar. His eyes were a little cloudy, as if he had lost his mind. There were bursts of dragon roars, and huge waves were set off into space, directly knocking back the God of War's fortress. Lin Mohan flew out from the God of War fortress. "You guys stand back, I'll kill him." Xiao Wu responded, "Sister Master, Xiao Wu will help you." The law of luck rose. Xiao Wu cursed at the Eagle King, and a delicate voice sounded, "You are going to be in bad luck." Lin Moyu also heard the roar of the dragon and sensed the aura of the Supreme. He took out the dragon-seeking ball with a sudden thought. The distance was too far and the dragon-seeking ball did not respond. The wings of the undead vibrated, the door to space opened, and Lin Moyu instantly traveled through tens of thousands of light years and approached the battlefield. The dragon-seeking ball reacted and pointed directly at the Eagle Emperor. The dragon ball is indeed here. The third dragon ball was indeed in the hands of the Eagle King, so he searched outside for a long time but could not find the third dragon ball. At that time, he had guessed that as long as the Dragon Ball was still in the territory, it would most likely be in the Golden Eagle clan. Ing Wang not only got the Dragon Ball, but now he also forcibly absorbed the Runga Dragon Ball, turning himself into this kind of monster that is neither a dragon nor an eagle. With the Dragon Ball, the Eagle King's aura has indeed reached the Supreme Realm, but the aura is very unstable and is not truly supreme. Lin Mohan had already taken action, but Lin Moyu didn't have the slightest worry in her eyes. Such a thing didn't need to worry about his sister. The world-destroying sword emerged, and a purple line penetrated the sword body, adding a bit of nobility to the world-destroying sword. The powerful sword intent surged in the starry sky, tearing apart the space. Lin Mohan clenched her right hand, and the world-destroying sword automatically fell into her hand. She once again took hold of her own world of rules. At this moment, she integrated with the world of rules, became stronger, and her combat power soared. The Heaven and Earth sword also flew with it, blending into the world-destroying sword. The power of the world-destroying sword was once again increased. The starry sky was trembling and swaying, as if it could not withstand the power of the world-destroying sword and kept collapsing. The galaxies within a light year suddenly collapsed at this moment. The sword has not yet been officially released, but already the galaxy cannot bear it. The entire body of the God of War's fortress was glowing, and all the formations were fully deployed to barely block it. "Quickly retreat!" The Heavenly Saint shouted urgently, and the War Saint immediately controlled the War God's fortress to retreat. Only then did they understand that Lin Mohan was not joking when he asked him to retreat. Saint Hao said, "It's so powerful, it's a pity these galaxies are so powerful." Sha Xingzuan joked, "Then tell Fairy Han to be gentle." Saint Hao rolled his eyes at him, "I'm not a fool." The Saint Killer said, "Coward." "Then you go?" "I'm not going." The Sword Saint said lightly, "Two cowards." The Eagle Emperor sensed Lin Mohan's terror, but his eyes were cloudy, as if he had lost his mind. Fusing the Dragon Balls is not without cost. While gaining great power, you will also lose some things. But if he doesn't do this, there is no chance. Now, at least I'm still giving it a try. The Eagle Emperor breathed out its dragon breath and turned into golden mist and rushed towards Lin Mohan. At the same time, the scales on its body exploded and evolved into stars and sharp arrows, which struck like raindrops. Lin Mohan accumulated his strength to the extreme and suddenly swung his sword. One sword divides the sea. A boundless giant sword appeared in the starry sky, and at the same time it evolved into a vast ocean. Lin Mohan transformed into a supreme swordsman and slashed open the ocean with one sword strike. The worlds floating in the boundary sea were all cut down by this sword, Destroy. This sword is extremely terrifying and surprisingly powerful. The saints who had already retreated hundreds of millions of miles away were spitting blood at the same time and looking at each other in shock. They were hundreds of millions of miles apart, but they couldn't even bear the aftermath, and their souls were all shaken. If you were to face this sword head-on, there wouldn't even be any scum left. Lin Mohan's strength has reached such a level that his actual combat power far exceeds that of the Half-Step Supreme. All the attacks of the Eagle King were like child's play under this sword, and they were all destroyed. The starry sky collapsed and the laws became extinct. The Eagle King instinctively wanted to escape, but found that he could not move. There seemed to be something wrong with the Dragon Ball, which was beyond his control. He screamed and was swallowed by the sword light. The sword light went away, and several galaxies along the way were chopped into pieces. Countless Golden Eagle clan members died under the sword. Do not move. There is only one Dragon Ball hanging there in the starry sky, and when it moves. The Eagle Emperor couldn't even hold back a single sword, and was destroyed in ashes. Lin Mohan sheathed her sword and stood up. After her strength increased greatly, she was not too weak when she swung the sword, and she still had the strength to fight. She turned around and flew back, speaking to Lin Moyu, "I'll leave the next thing to you." Lin Moyu and Lin Mohan exchanged positions, came to the side of the Dragon Ball, and took the Dragon Ball in their hands. The next step is his life. The Golden Eagle clan is about to be destroyed. There is no chance. Together with their ancestral land, they will be refined into world crystals, becoming materials for Lin Moyu's promotion path, or materials needed to build a new divine path. The law of cause and effect once again manifested its power in a moment. The cause in the past is now the effect. The hell of bones floats in the starry sky, bringing billions of deaths.